Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 257. Welcome. Benny, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Awesome.
The Sith have joined us.
I have.
Sith or Slytherin, whichever one you want to go with.
Yes. Benny, are you excited to hear about an Australian fact?
I am. I cannot wait.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I've been thinking about it all day, honestly. Yeah. When I woke up, I was like, today's the day I get an Australian fact, and I'm excited.
Right. Every Thursday is Australian Fact Day.
Yep, national.
You know when you rock into school and you sit down and the teacher goes, "Okay, pop quiz time." You're like, shit, I forgot my homework. Well, that was like me 2 minutes before this podcast started. Because
But you're from Australia.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know
You don't
that.
have-
You
don't have them ready to go?
Yeah, we're innately born with facts. Well, you brought up our Prime Minister, Bob
Yeah.
Hawke, who held the record for the quickest beer skull. I don't know how big the beer was, but it was at one of the universities at University of Western Australia. So I thought I would go with a similar Prime Minister fact.
Okay.
And that is, we lost. This is how dangerous Australia is. We lost a prime minister to the ocean. Went for a swim.
I shouldn't laugh.
Never came back.
That's
He just
Sharks?
disappeared. He got
Yes,
eaten.
probably sharks.
Like the Great Barrier Reef just swallowed him?
How long ago?
Harold Holt, 1967. See you later.
Ooh, that's like
Wow.
modern time.
Just went for a swim. Never came back.
So there's your
Violent
lesson
fact.
today.
He was
People
probably
die.
still alive.
People die in Australia. Thanks.
Yeah,
Lana.
don't
I
go
had
in
no
the
idea.
ocean. If you're in Australia, don't go to the ocean. That's what we learned today on DCP Live.
There you go. Don't touch the koalas and don't go in the ocean.
Yeah, Benny, do you think you're going to use that information in the future, visiting
I'll never
Australia?
forget it. How could I forget?
Yeah,
That will remain with me
very pertinent.
Very
Is
good.
it safe to go in the waters in the UK?
completely.
Yeah?
I mean, there's not much going
There's
on.
not a
there.
lot of wildlife
danger.
over there that's gonna do much damage.
It's because it's too cold,
we
right?
are,
The gold.
I'm not really near a beach, but I mean, I couldn't think it would be too bad. No,
Yeah, be safe. You can get
Isn't
to
it
go
an
out there.
island? How far away can you be from a beach?
it's an island. I mean, you could drive across it.
It's
in
a big
probably 5
island,
hours.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
5
it's a
hours.
big island, but still.
That's shorter than going from here to LA.
Like west to east. So across, it's quite long and
Right.
full. So
Yeah.
you could go across like the middle quite fast.
Yeah.
So like
It's
you're
maybe a bit longer than 5
maximum
hours.
2.5 hours away from a beach.
Yeah, probably 2.5, 3 hours.
Okay.
But I never really go because the beaches aren't particularly nice.
Cold, wet. It's kind of maybe
It's
dangerous, but
stinky.
maybe not.
Probably
But
not
there's
dangerous.
probably no
but
box
probably just
jellyfish,
not
at least.
a tourist attraction.
It's
So you-
come to my attention that people don't understand what I said before with a beer sculling a beer.
Yeah.
Do you
What's
guys
that?
know what I mean?
I'm
Like
assuming. Listen,
drinking a beer?
I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm assuming it's slamming a beer so fast that you're not really drinking it. You're just like,
Let it flow down your throat.
yeah, it's flowing down
Yeah,
into your
yeah.
stomach. You know?
Yeah. So like a, I don't know what would you call
Like
what do you
chugging.
call it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
Chugging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
Slamming.
his.
I
thing.
assumed that it was because it's Australia that they were taking some skull
Skull.
of something and drinking out of it.
Beer
Just
in a
drinking
skull.
out
a skull of a
skull
koala filled with Foster's beer.
of a chlamydia-ridden koala.
That's a biohazard weapon.
Good Lord. Sounds like a new exotic.
I
weapon.
remember when I found out that if you put a straw in the neck, like a bottle of beer, like down the bottle of beer, it's got to be one of those bendy straws that bends off to the side. You can then chug a beer like basically like 4 times as fast, or you can skull a beer.
They have a name for that. What is it? Stropedo.
Stropedo?
Torpedo.
Stropedoing.
Do you guys do
Wow.
yard glasses for your 21st?
What's that mean?
I did.
Welcome to DCP's cultural exchange, where we're
Oh, we got-
learning about countries.
Yeah. We promise we're going to talk about trials. We promise, but we got to get.
Yeah, we will.
This is very important information, okay?
We're gonna have to start charging extra to listen to all these Australian facts.
Yeah.
I'm going to save them up. On your 21st
It's a very progressive podcast, so we like to, kind of learn about new
Educate.
cultures. And,
Yeah. Like to embrace new things.
On
Yeah.
your 21st birthday, even though you're allowed to drink from 18 here, but on your 21st, it's tradition to do a yard glass. And it's
Wait, so why not 18?
because we're too dummy thick. I don't know. It took
Get
us
into the
Tell me thick.
took us 3 years to work out we should be doing this when we're I don't know. 21, you get a yard glass, which is the really long.
It's like a yard of beer.
It's like it's this big, right?
Yeah.
That's what it
it's-
is, pretty much.
The ones you get
name
at
is in the
theme
title.
parks.
It's,
With
the
the
name's
punch
inside.
bowl.
It's an actual yard glass.
And it's got a big bulb. It's probably like 8 beers, and you try to scull it, and
Skull it,
no one
yeah.
ever can unless you're an absolute machine, and it
Just
just
the foam alone, like that much.
Oh, it's too much liquid. But yeah, that's what
Yeah,
you're
we
trying to
should-
do. You have like 3 people holding up this massive yard glass, and you
So at 21, huh? You got to go do that. And then you go swim in the ocean and you wonder why your prime minister never came back.
never come back. There you go. There's your
Oh,
lots of
man.
facts today.
Benny, we should talk about some origin
Yeah.
story stuff, man. Like where did you get started with content creation? Where was your first yard glass drinking situation on
What's
stream?
your law? What's your law?
So I didn't really ever have any plans for content creation. I played a lot of Call of Duty back in the day and had some friends that recommended I tried out Destiny. I was never really a Halo guy because I was on PlayStation back then. So we checked out Destiny, just me and a bunch of IRL friends. I played it a lot, really enjoyed it. Got quite good at it and met Triple Wreck through Destiny, who pretty much is the reason I do what I do today. I owe a lot to him, and I openly admit that all the time. He would often talk about how much potential I had and that I should stream. So I'd be playing with him just randomly when he was streaming, and he would go to the extents of like, start your stream up, I'll host you, stuff like that. So I never really saw myself doing it. I was kind of killing time when I was a teenager. But I had some friends that looked out for me a lot. So when Destiny 2 came out to PC, obviously we were all on console before that. I couldn't really afford a PC at the time. So he sent me his old computer for free.
Oh my god.
Damn, triple hooking it up.
And pretty much said, like, if you can pay me back, you can pay me back, but you should like do it so we can play together and start streaming. So that was
That's really cool.
the origin.
Awesome.
You got
I was looking for
bullied
that
into
hot
content
Benny
creation.
Carey.
Yeah, triple bowling.
I was- It was an opportunity that was too good to say no. Really, I was very, very blessed to be in the position I am with my friends, and I am well aware of that.
That's awesome, man. When was the first time you hit the go live button?
Before you answer that, it surprises me that Triple forced you onto PC because he famously, on the first episode of DCP, forced us to do chat on PlayStation Live because he
really?
couldn't get a PC to work.
Because his Discord was broken permanently.
Now he's long gone. He's very invested in the PC scene. So,
Yeah,
He
for
is
sure.
indeed.
but yeah. First started streaming. I never really was doing it seriously back then. I would just stream like tournaments and stuff because people wanted to see them, and often in the rule set you had to have someone on your team streaming so they could
Right.
see.
Right. Makes sense.
So I'd stream back then a little bit, and then when it came to PC, I just messed around doing some PvP stuff here and there, and ended up deciding that streaming sounded fun. I was just doing it for fun for a long time, and then I got to the point where I got partnered, and then I was still doing it quite inconsistently for a really long time, and then COVID hit. So I've only been full-time streaming for about a year, but once COVID hit, I couldn't. So before that, I was working at events. I was doing like music festivals.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would do like catering at events like the UK equivalents of like Coachella, Rolling Loud, stuff like that. So obviously that was all completely shut down. So I started streaming full time around then and just haven't looked back really. It's been great.
It's almost like another push.
Awesome.
You got pushed by
Yeah.
triple and then pushed by
Yeah.
COVID. And then
It's
full
like,
time
come on,
streaming.
man,
The
hurry
mental
up,
stuff
goddamn.
to push you around.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been
Only took a
post.
pandemic.
Yeah, only a pandemic.
Yeah,
to start a
exactly
career. You've been posting videos as well, right?
I have. So I haven't been doing YouTube for that long. I probably started, I'd say 7 or 8 months ago.
Okay, yeah.
When I decided I was committing to like full-time streaming and it was going really well, I figured diversifying my content was
Yeah.
the next thing to do. So
Have you noticed?
Smart.
Yeah, definitely smart. Have you noticed an increase of just stuff in general? Like, have you noticed after
Yeah.
7 or 8 months that it's been worth posting to other sites and all that for content?
Yeah, so it was at first I had an established viewership on Twitch. So when I started YouTube, a lot of my Twitch viewers and subs would go over there, support the videos and stuff. And then over time, like a couple months in, I would see it come back the other way. So I'd see people in my Twitch chat
Yep.
saying like, "Yo, I love your YouTube videos."
Yeah.
And I feel like that stuff is like the really motivating stuff. Like, oh, I'm very glad I did that and started diversifying my content because it just builds you as a brand across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at this point in time with Twitch, it's very important to have outside places to bring
Yeah.
people to Twitch, because as we all know, Twitch is
Absolutely.
very
Yeah.
difficult to grow on unless you're at the top already,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
How did
great.
you find going from console to PC? Because you were on console before you got sent to PC, right?
Yeah, so I played PC a lot when I was younger, but never really in shooter games. So
Mm.
throughout my childhood, I played a lot of I played World of Warcraft growing up. I started playing League of Legends when I was in school because it was the only thing my computer could play. Like I've always played a lot of games, but I felt comfortable with a mouse. But then playing a shooter, those skills don't really translate.
Yeah.
So it was somewhat of a new experience. I went straight to mouse and keyboard as soon as it came out. I didn't play controller personally, so I just was bad for a bit, stuck it out, and now I much prefer playing mouse and keyboard. And I play all sorts of shooters on PC, but I can't really use a controller anymore. It feels very foreign to me.
Were you sweating for a bit when you went over to like mouse and keyboard, going, "Oh my god, what if I can't do this?
It
I've
was-
just
it
been
was
sent
just-
to PC."
It was just like I would know the play to make because
Yeah.
I'd played for so long on console, but I just
You just
wouldn't be
couldn't
able to
execute.
replicate the inputs because I just wasn't used to it. But
That's
You
what
there
gets a lot
now.
of players frustrated, and they want to just say,
Yeah.
"I don't want to do it anymore," because they know how they can play and they know what they should be doing and what
Yeah.
they can be doing, and they're like, "Can't do it."
it takes time. I mean, I personally liked the process of learning something new and noticing myself get better over time. But
Measuring growth.
When's the last
yeah.
time you played with a controller?
so I played Ratchet and Clank, if that counts,
I mean,
Yeah.
Destiny specifically. Sorry.
before the PC version came out. I just never
Really?
really,
So
unless I've been like
you switched and
testing a
then
gun or something.
you switched and that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that was it. Yeah.
Never looked back really.
Tefty and Watts were making fun of me the other day because we were playing Ghost of Tsushima. I was like, I can't figure out how to do the super in Ghost of Tsushima. And they're like, it's just like Destiny. I'm like, that doesn't help.
remember
It's
that.
been too long since I played on a controller. I don't remember how to do it.
That blew my mind because I'm like, how can you forget L1 R1?
It
That
turned
one will
out,
always
it did
be
turn out that I
engraved.
had controlled my controls. I had changed my control scheme.
Briar
Right,
always
yeah.
does. So anytime Briar asks you how to do something, you can't answer the question for him. It is impossible. He changes his controller layout every time. It's impossible.
Southpaw or
That's true.
something.
So I was relatively proud of going flawless, and then I looked at your YouTube channel, and you're doing 1 verse 3s. What's that about?
What's that about?
What's that about, man? Huh?
Well, I lose a lot more than I win. I just post the wins, but I mean, it's what I started posting quite early when I was doing YouTube videos, and those were definitely the videos that I think helped my channel out the most because I think a lot of players could get 1v3s done, but I don't think most of them were insane enough to do it during the cheaters, recurves, 3-peak, chaos reach, behemoth metas, whereas I was sticking it out and grinding those videos. So
Now it's a walk in the park, mate.
it's a cakewalk now, but we'll see after tomorrow. But
Uh-huh.
What is your go-to loadout 1 verse 3s? What are you running?
so the point of that series, there's like 20 episodes of it now. The point of
Right.
that series is I do a different subclass and different loadout every time I do it.
Right.
So it'll be a different map, different subclass, stuff like that. So
Have you
I mean,
found one particular loadout was the easiest, or is it really just depend on your match?
I think last season, just sniping on a top 3 Dawn when it still had double dash definitely was the easiest because the movement and you could just stockpile sniper ammo. When I was recording
Right.
one last week, I noticed that special ammo change is huge in 1v3s because you
Yeah.
can't really afford to just stockpile sniper ammo.
Right.
Right.
So I've just ended up doing it with a shotgun, which is probably not ideal for 1v3s, but
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we should definitely talk about Trials.
I
mean, there's a lot to
On
talk
that
about.
note,
There's a lot to
On
talk
that
about
note.
this week, from Trials of last weekend to
Yeah, should we talk
information.
about that first?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Trials experience. Mylan's addicted.
I'm addicted.
He's a changed man.
That's awesome.
For the better or for the worse, I'm
For
different.
the worst, definitely. But I like it. So
I was really scared that they were putting all this time and effort into Trials of Osiris again, because it's not the first time they've tried to really revamp the Trials of Osiris experience, and it would just fall upon deaf ears. That is not what happened. People really flocked to Trials of Osiris this weekend. Like, this was,
it did.
I think, universally is a strong word, but I mean, overall, people really seem to like the new Trials of Osiris.
Yeah.
And it shows in the numbers. They actually posted numbers in the TWAB this week
They did.
about how
yes.
many people played and how many people were like first time
Do you want me to
players
go
and
over
stuff like
those
that. And it was,
quickly while
yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking about it? So the stats for this weekend was 750,000 players played Trials, more than we've seen since the early days of Destiny 2. Not only that, 120,000 of those were first time ever players, and another 470,000 hadn't played recently.
That's huge. That's a lot.
Huge amount of people.
Massive.
The amount of people,
Yeah.
the 470,000 who hadn't played recently, is like more than other weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Just with that
Yeah.
number.
By like a
It's-
factor of 10, right?
So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And they also put a chart. So if you guys do want to look at it just in a chart to see exactly what the numbers were like, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Big,
saw that
big
Isn't it,
difference.
like,
and then the last week
amazing?
was just off the
Yeah,
scale.
it's just
Yeah, it's just boom.
The difference that I feel like if you were studying game design, this could almost be a case study. Like, Trials is effectively the same. They made some changes to the special ammo, but the difference with player population and how that impacts the feel of a game mode is insane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, they put a reward, they changed how you got loot, which encouraged people to get into the game, which bumped the population, which all of a sudden made a game mode which was universally only being played by people like Benny 1v3ing people to now the average, the some people that haven't even played before, 100,000
Yeah.
people that never even played the game mode.
Yeah.
What I
first
would
time
have liked
trying
to
it
see
out.
in this player count is how many people played for the first time in the matchmaking, like the solo matchmaking, where you could just jump in.
Like, how
You
many
didn't
were
need to put a
solo?
team
That'd be
together.
a good breakdown.
You know.
Yeah.
What's really cool is that 105,000 people went flawless for the first time ever.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool stat.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it said that an average of 30% of active players played Trials each day this weekend, topping
Wow.
out at over 32% on Saturday. No day ever has gone above 21%.
I wonder if
That's
that
wild.
20% includes Destiny 1 or is it just the Destiny 2 stat?
Did they signify that, or is it?
No.
Yeah.
I
don't
saw
know,
that the
actually.
Trials report account tweeted that there was more matches played this weekend than any other weekend, Destiny 1 and 2.
Wow.
Like single
Wow.
game
Yeah,
played.
definitely.
Yeah. So it was a massive, massive weekend.
It was big.
It was
Yeah,
yeah.
huge. It says here that over 2.8 million hours of Trials were played this weekend, which eclipsed the highest prior single week total by 600,000 hours.
Mhm.
Like, it is a huge number that came to Trials that was not here before.
Yeah, that's
Huge.
amazing.
Yeah.
Benny, so from your perspective, being really into the Trials experience,
Yeah.
how did it feel for you? Like, did you like it? Did you mix? You know, like-
I really liked it. It was refreshing more than anything. I think the matchmaking changes are great. When I was playing with friends of a similar skill level, it was a bit steamrolly. But then when I started doing raffles and stuff, it felt great, and it felt like people could contribute that had won
Yeah.
a raffle, for example. and
Mhm.
still
Yeah.
get a flawless done. Like often I wouldn't shoot someone to do like some wholesome moment where they get the last kill, and you could do stuff like that. You could not do that before at all. I had to be
Yeah.
like completely going for it the whole time.
Interesting.
I I I was hesitant beforehand when I heard that there was going to be some sort of performance-based matchmaking because I thought, all right, the first couple cards will be great and it will slowly decline throughout the weekend, but it really didn't feel like that at all.
Mhm.
I think if anything, it went the other way, or there wasn't much change at all. And it
Yeah.
was just nice to see all sorts of people come into a Twitch chat and say, "Hi, I just got flawless for the first time." Some people would say, "I even did it a solo queue,"
Yeah.
and stuff like that, which you just couldn't have imagined last
Yeah.
season, right?
No.
Like, it's a huge change.
Yeah, massive
Your
change.
point-
Right?
Your point about like contributing is such a big one because I've only been to the lighthouse, less than 5 times, and I never contributed to any of the fights.
Yeah.
I'm just being told what to do, where to sit, what to do. Oh, don't do that. Oh, you're out of position. Like just,
Yeah.
and I actually feel like I actually contributed. I actually shot my gun.
Yeah.
I may have even got a kill, and that is more rewarding. That is contributing to a flawless or even to a
100%.
win
Yeah,
for a
makes
standard player is a fantastic experience, which is what
makes
got
the matches memorable, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I found with the matchmaking, after the wins seem to be, I don't know, more prioritized. I don't know, because it was meant to be wins and also skill level, right? Or your performance over the
Your
weekend.
performance of the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, but I always found once I got to 7 wins, it was pretty rough, and then you just reset the card. It was almost like easy
Yeah,
again, and then
It was a bit strange because even on fresh cards, it felt like the first 3 games were the harder 3, and then it
100%.
got
sometimes, yeah,
and then
yeah,
it got
yeah.
easier. Like for example, I'm in the UK and I matched like Jake on one of my first 3 games, but
Mm.
I would never have done that on 4, 5, 6, and 7. They were all just like a lot easier. So it was confusing a little bit why the first 3
It
games
was weird.
were the
Mm.
difficult ones, but
Interesting.
I wasn't complaining. Everyone, I mean, it helped the playlist a lot, and I think it was just a good week for everyone in
Yeah.
general.
Did you try it solo?
I did not. Well, I was recording the videos, but I didn't solo queue with teammates. I'd like to try that out this weekend.
Sure.
Because I didn't get a chance to because I was just busy with raffle stuff and helping people. But
When you were going
Right.
through the cards, did you notice mostly matching teams or mostly matching solos, or was it a nice mix?
that was my first main complaint that I would have liked to see changed was that I think alongside wins and whatever sort of skill based or performance based they put in, I think there needed to be a like fire team composition thing.
Mhm.
If you're not going to split
Yeah.
it into a freelance and a normal, you're going to have just one playlist. I think you should try and match similar fire team sizes. Otherwise, 3
Yeah.
solos against a 3 stack will win 1 time out of 100. Like it shouldn't happen because they don't have that communication. There's no ping system in the game. It's just
Yeah.
so that was one thing I would have liked to see changed. But and half the time, if I match solo queues, I'd notice that 2 backed out, and it's like, well, that's being addressed
Interesting.
now, but that definitely wasn't good. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
So
true.
I played solo, just solo queuing on Friday, and there really weren't that many people backing out. And it was getting progressively worse throughout the weekend, I think, as people were getting more loot and they were like, I can't win this. I don't care. But at least on Friday, and I hope it goes back to feeling like that, it was like people were just hanging out in the playlist and trying to win around to get loot. And
Yeah.
that felt really good. I hope it goes back to that because that was great. Because I think Tefty, you were doing the same thing of just jumping in a trials match every now and then. Like I can get some
Yeah.
stuff from this, and that's great.
Yeah, I jumped in on Saturday. I decided to skip Friday because I had some stuff that I was taking care of. But like, I jumped in Saturday, and I found myself really enjoying the solo queue experience because like the thing that I didn't like about having to do a trials card is coordinating with everyone. And if I was streaming, I'm streaming great. Like I've got the time set up. But if I suddenly want to do some trials, I need to get 2 other people lined up to do a card for an hour to 2 hours. Like that's a lot more barriers in between. So just jumping in solo queue, I found was great. I really enjoyed that experience. I solo queued the whole weekend. So like I said, I did Saturday, played a whole card. Then I did Sunday, played a whole card, and then I played some on Monday as well. And it was the first time in a long time when I was sad to see trials go. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm really enjoying this experience.
Yep.
I think
This was fun.
I I think especially outside of like the streaming space where, you know, you can grab two people from chat or you know a lot of people in the game
Hmm.
to play with. I think for the average person who doesn't necessarily want to go on like LFG to find a
Yeah.
team, or they're not comfortable to do that social part of it, having a solo queue playlist is definitely a good thing. I was a bit hesitant at first, but I do definitely like the addition that everybody can play. All it does is help population.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge boost
Yeah.
to population. I mean, you could immediately tell that, like, yeah, sure. For me, you know, I played some 3 stacks and got stomped by some of them. Also, I
Yeah.
won some 3 stacks and stomped them. And like,
Yeah.
it was an interesting queue experience. And honestly, from my perspective, the most of them were solo queues for all the games that I played. So I felt like I had a pretty good matchmaking experience, but I did see a lot of people say that they went up against tons of 3 stacks and got stomped by tons of them. And I do agree that like the matchmaking should absolutely say if you're in a 3 team, it should try to find another 3 team or a 2 team to try to funnel those together more often than not.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like, I can see the pros and cons of that. I mean, my concern is if you changed. I mean, obviously, I think you need to keep population as high as possible, and that's what Bungie's trying to balance, right?
Mhm.
I think if any changes impact that, let's say you get rid of the solo queues or you have a separate playlist, then you know my concern would be Trials would feel the same way as it did before. And like I have to reflect on my experiences. Did I only win because I was in a voice comm with 3 people and I was versing solo queues? And there's probably a big portion of my experience that was fun because other people were disadvantaged because they were by themselves and didn't have comms.
Mhm.
That being said, I also did a lot of solo queuing and I didn't care if I won or lost because I was already on 20 rounds being won. So I was getting the max amount of XP
Yeah,
from
XP.
So even if I went 5-0, I was actually getting trials ranks quicker than other people if we got stomped in this. So it was like, and part of me was like, it's okay. It's solo. I'm just gonna practice on my own skill set and ability here. Like I'm gonna lose, but I'm not wasting my time. I think
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Definitely.
It is a lot more respectful of the player's time, which is a huge thing.
Huge thing.
Before, it's like if you can't get 7, you're not really earning much from it. Whereas now you are still. I mean, rewards was one of the main things that needed help, and I think the changes to it are great.
Yeah, I agree. I felt that was one of the main motivators for me. I was like, well, I'm having fun, even in these one or solo queue situations, and I'm still getting rewarded for just playing. And I was like, they've hit like what feels like a really difficult balancing point. I feel like they're teetering right on it, and it feels awesome.
Yeah. And if you are a really good player and you go beyond 7 and you're on, you get the increased drops, right? You get the adept drops and the more trial engrams. So there's still reward for players to maintain their 7 wins and flawless cards, right?
I think that worked great because it stopped the really top end and stack teams from just resetting and ruining other people's flawlesses because there was real incentive and good loot for them to grind on a 7 win. Because before it was never like, if you played on a 7 win in PvP, it was never like farming GMs in PvE. Whereas now it does feel like there's some equivalent.
Did you do a lot?
Yeah,
Like, what's the drop rate? Because I actually reset my card a lot because once I got to 7.
I was getting an Adept SMG one every like 3 or 4 games. Like you could farm them pretty well.
So it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was definitely
I think if you
worth
played
it.
a lot throughout the weekend, you would easily get like the role you want on an Adept gun.
That's awesome. That's great.
It is great, but that at the same time makes me think there's only so many Adept weapons they could do.
Yeah.
So after a certain amount of weeks, if you're getting a guard roll every time.
Yeah. There's
now
like
it's too easy.
time limit for that stock of how much time people are going to want to stay in there to try to get that roll. I guess that's
like the last season. The weeks where Igneous Hammer was up, it was popping, but you can't do that every week. Like there's only a certain amount of guns you can put out in it each week, and some weeks will help the player base, and Igneous Hammer week will skyrocket. Then you put a fusion rifle there next week, and it'll just dip again because people don't want it in the same way.
So I guess that's the question is how many people will stick around, or what's the true fall off going to be once people have gotten those particular types of loot that they're looking for. Like hopefully they can find some sort of balance where it's just a fun game mode to jump in and try some stuff out. Because like I found myself jumping in for a couple games, trying some stuff, taking a break, retooling my loadout, then jumping back in, and that had like I was just having fun doing that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that conversion happens where it's people trying it out for the first time, which a lot of people tried it for the first time, and they just end up really enjoying the mode, and it's just fun to play it, and getting loot is a bonus. I'm sure that conversion will happen for a good amount of people. It's obviously not going to be everyone, so it's interesting. I will be interested to see what the drop off ends up being like.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. just how
Adding
drastic
more
it is.
than just the trials loot, adding the prisms and engrams
Yeah.
and stuff like that will
Yes.
help, because there are still other materials you can get from playing. Like there is still stuff to get even if you have all the guard rolls.
Yeah.
The Twitter
Yeah, definitely.
questions were like really heavily focused this week about the drop off, like what's going to happen next week. But I feel like with the highs we hit, right? Like with so many people playing, the drop off has to be slower.
It seems
And the
like it would
fact that
have
there's
to.
solo matchmaking, and the fact that people seem to be having a really good experience in the playlist, feels like the drop off is going to be a lot slower.
Well,
And if it is,
and the fact that they played all the way through to Monday, it wasn't just Friday.
Yeah,
and
that
they,
was one of the stats
Yeah.
they showed. People were actually consistently playing all weekend, which is huge.
Yeah.
It means that they were, they got to be having some type of a good time in there to keep going the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a huge stat right there.
The thing for Bungie is this is a proof of concept that they don't need to necessarily reinvent the whole game mode. That they need to, now they know if they can maintain the population, which is going to be linked to loot and rewards, it helps them to go, you know what, we can actually spend time on loot because we know people will play it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they can maintain the drop off by increasing the loot. And that's where their effort should go, I'm hoping.
Yeah. Yeah, and the solo queue allows more people to try it out, to get a taste. And like you said, those social barriers of having to go on LFG and find a team and then commit to a card with that team that you just met. I feel like that's a big barrier. And being able to go in solo helps quite a bit.
It was great because there's also people like, there's going to be people in my chat who don't feel comfortable even hopping in with me and using voice chat and stuff, right? This is people who are not comfortable with that. So we were just playing where we got people together and we didn't do voice comms. We just played together and we got flawless like that because we can do that now, which was awesome. That was like everyone's first flawless that we did that day.
Yeah.
that hasn't been the case since Trials of the Nine, right?
No,
have, like, a casual trials experience.
No, there's no way that I could just grab people, especially with no comms, and just be like, let's play some trials and see how it goes. There's no way.
Yeah.
no way.
I did new team every match and we went flawless. So I had 2 people jump in every match and we swapped them through and we did 7 games back to back just using chat.
That's incredible.
As a fun challenge.
Cool.
And I was like, I can't believe this.
Well, when we went, so me, Mylan, and Log played together. And when we got the final win for Flawless, Mylan was like, huh?
What is this? What's Lauren at?
Did it.
What's this place? I thought Mercury's dead. Why is this here? What's Osiris doing there?
So that was last weekend. I think this would be a relevant point to roll into the changes.
The twabby-twomb that's
Well,
coming?
we should
changes?
talk.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we
The
should talk the
changes
changes.
specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's
I'm just gonna read it from start to finish with upcoming changes because it's
Okay.
not super long, but there's some stuff in there. So we're just gonna go start to finish and then we'll discuss it. So tomorrow there will be a few changes going live for the second week of Trials of Osiris. We aren't satisfied with the matchmaking experience for players after 7 wins. That area of matchmaking has a significantly higher rate of 5-0 games than we would like, so we are enabling a flawless matchmaking pool. However, we want to make sure that there are enough flawless players to maintain good matchmaking times, so we're waiting until Friday afternoon to turn this on. And we'll be watching players' reactions and matchmaking analytics all weekend to make sure it is behaving properly. We're also not happy with the
Can you pause for just a second?
We can.
Friday
We're going to be
afternoon-
talking about this for like 5 hours, so I'm
right.
going to read the rest of it because I think talking about all of it at once.
Question time will be later.
All right.
We are also not happy with the experience of players who have had a bad streak of getting repeatedly thrashed 5-0, so we are enabling some matchmaking help if someone runs into several blowout matches. This temporary help mechanic clears up once they start winning again, so don't think someone will cheese a flawless by tanking for a few games and then have a weekend of smooth sailing. Lastly, we are enabling quitter penalties that we use the same ones as the Glory playlist, giving you a 30-minute timeout if you quit out of too many games. We're going to be watching this, and we have some harsher plans if players continue to abandon their fire teams. And then, that's the other one is next week. So yeah, we can talk about this because this is happening tomorrow.
Yeah,
DC.
so they're aware that there's issues with one, the pubs or like the 3 stack stomping from solo players. They clearly know that that's an issue for people not wanting to return to the playlist if that's going to happen. And the second is people being flawless and matching up new player cards. I think that's the most controversial, right? If you go flawless, you're now in an exclusive pool of other people who have gone flawless, and it's account based. It's not character based.
Yeah.
You can't reset your card. Like, you are officially in the flawless pool for the rest of the weekend.
So just to be super clear, I will read what Cosmo said on this because it makes it super clear. Once you go flawless for the week, you start by trying to match with other flawless folks. It may eventually resort to matching against non-flawless. It resets each week.
Yeah.
And yeah, so once you are flawless, you are flawless, and it is account based. So even if you switch characters, you are still flawless.
So within the flawless pool, though, you'll still be match made based on the previous what I did this week or last week, which was
this week.
It
number
resets
of
every
wins?
weekend.
That'll be a
Yeah.
fresh
No,
slate
sorry, I
once
mean
you
like
do flawless.
so if I go flawless and I'm on my first win, I'll be matched with other first wins in the flawless matchmaking.
I think you just match with other flawless
kiddie
people,
pool.
period.
What about your performance?
Good question.
Like, will it be
so.
within that pool? Will it be
I would
the
assume they
performance
keep
as
the
well?
same sort of matchmaking parameters, but it's sort of a flawless pool and a not yet.
That's what I was
flawless
thinking.
pool,
So it'll be similar
assume.
matchmaking, but only with other people who have been flawless.
Unless it takes like way too long, which I would actually really like and appreciate if they were more specific on how long they search for people before they start expanding it, because even 2 minutes sitting there staring at a screen is too long.
Do you remember the Forsaken
annoying.
comp days when you'd
Mm,
play?
yep.
You'd see all the streamers playing that Scriblio game, like Pictionary on stream,
Yes.
waiting for cues.
Yeah,
Oh my
Flashbacks.
god.
we don't want any of that.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk to my chat.
This is this is obviously getting a lot of flack in the community right now about this decision. A lot of people thinking that it's going to be bad. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad. Like, I know it's going to help a lot of people that wouldn't go flawless want to go flawless because they're clearly not going to match
for
people
sure.
who would have gone flawless already at that point. But then there's the just reset your card at 6 wins thing that I think a lot of people are going to do this weekend. Actually, Benny, what do you think? I mean, you're...
That was my initial thought. Given that, like, I've played a lot of trials in the past, I don't need any of the loot.
Mhm.
So if I was trying to most efficiently help as many people as I could, I would do carry as a one person. We'd pull a raffle winner. We'd win 6 games. The 2 of us would reset, play one more. They go flawless, and then we reset, and you do it again. And I feel like it's not the right thing to do because it clearly is manipulating the matchmaking.
Mhm.
But then at the same time, if you're trying to help as many people as you can, right? Like, so where does the moral, like, is it a bad thing to do if you're doing it to help people? Otherwise, you probably can't get
Right,
them
because
flawless.
Bungie's
They're
not
playing other
looking at
flawless
you
games.
guys.
Yeah, and
Right? They're not creating this playlist for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. And the carries and Sherpas are a very, very, very small portion
Right.
of people
Yeah.
that play, and you can't expect the game to be catered around you. But it is just interesting to see as one of those people. I'm
But it
also
is
curious.
it is a very public facing part of trials, right? It's like
Oh, 100%.
on Twitch, some of the most watched streams on the
Yeah.
weekend are people carrying people in trials. So it's like, if I want to know what the trials experience is, it's very possible that's going to be my first exposure to trials. So watching somebody carry other players.
I think what's interesting is they didn't mention the team composition. Like, let's say you're already flawless one weekend, but you're helping 2 people who haven't gone flawless. Like, I would have liked them to shed some light on that. Like, if it's just one person that's been flawless and the whole team is marked as a flawless team, it's like, well, then there's your answer. But
Yeah,
I think it'd be better if they
I
just
was
said
curious
if
about that.
like if all 3 people have been flawless, then they're in the flawless pool. Then I'd be like, well, yeah, okay, you've been flawless.
So
Yeah, interesting.
yeah, Benny, take it away.
I know it makes a lot more sense to me to have a 7 wins and pass matchmaking, and then a not flawless matchmaking, because they already have a different loot pool. Those people that are on a 7-win flawless card, they can get the adept weapons.
Right.
It makes sense for them to have different matchmaking to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you can reset it if you're trying to help a friend that hasn't been flawless, or
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
It just
I agree
seems
with
to
that.
make a lot more sense because there is a
It's
completely different loot pool already.
It is, yeah. I have so a couple concerns was that all the people that are Trials players already have probably all the loot that they want from Trials, so they don't need to go flawless. So it's not even necessarily going to be just the carry streamers or people who do carries who are resetting at 6. It might just be people who want to play throughout the weekend because they play, they play with their friends and they want to make sure that they can play with their friends and not make,
Yeah.
their friends' time more difficult.
Right.
So if they're doing that, then that's actually going to make this issue of, lower skilled players matching the higher skilled a lot worse because they're just going to be resetting and they're going to be in that pool for longer.
Wait,
The other thing that
also
concerns
real quick,
Hmm?
couldn't
Yeah.
you just lose a match and then it's considered not? You have a loss on your card, and then you get your 7 wins, and then you just keep on playing on that 7-win card.
True.
You could do
Right?
that
You
as
wouldn't be
well.
in the
Yeah.
flawless pool.
Yeah, you wouldn't be in the false pool then, right? Yeah.
I think from their point of view, it's literally like if your weapons and armor are glowing yellow, you have a different matchmaking pool because you are then flawless.
Right.
So if you
And-
wanted to farm XP, it would be more beneficial for you to have a card with 20 wins on it and not flawless card. Like, don't go
Definitely.
flawless.
Yeah.
Sit on 20 round wins.
A passage of
and-
wealth with 20 wins that wasn't flawless would be the most efficient way.
That is
Interesting.
that's
Interesting. That's the
The
tip
other
right
thing
there.
that concerns me is like the other thing that concerns there's a couple things that concern me with it. So my general concern about Trials in general is player population and keeping people playing. And you have the average player, right? Who a lot of average players went flawless for the first time. A lot of average players also kept playing past 7 wins to get adept rolls. Will those average players now leave the pool completely after they get flawless because they
Yes.
can't gain anything else after that? Because you can't even switch account. You can't even switch characters and get flawless again on another character. You are
Right.
now locked in
It's
as
account-based.
a flawless player. So what concerns me, again, population, with the people who are just making it flawless with the way it is right now, do they just dip out of Trials for the rest of the weekend? I don't know.
I think it hurts the average player who's like just about able to go flawless, maybe got their first flawless last week. It hurts the average player in an attempt to slow down the very top end players.
Mm-hmm.
I
Um,
think so too.
because I mean the highest end players, if they could go flawless last season when there was cheaters, chaos reach, sword peeking, recovs, they're going to be able to go flawless after these changes, irrelevant of which pool they're in.
Yeah.
'Cause it might as well have been flawless matchmaking last season. The player base was so
Yeah.
small.
Right.
I don't think it's going to affect the top players that much, but it will hurt the upper middle or just medium.
Yeah.
I said
average
the
skill.
same thing on stream
Mhm.
earlier. I was like, I feel like this actually affects the average player worse than anyone else.
And
Well,
it's just
especially
gonna come
if you
down
just
to
want to
like-
get your second character, right? Like if you switch over
Yeah.
characters, but you're already in the flawless, like that's
Yeah.
You can't do it. I don't. I
luck on
probably
that
wouldn't be
one.
able to do it.
Yeah.
The positive side is, so I just want to throw this out there quickly, is that as the weekend goes on longer, there will be more people in the flawless pool, so maybe it
Yes.
evens out eventually.
That's the plan, right? Is you give by moving everyone who's gone flawless to a different pool. Hopefully, the people that haven't gone flawless have better chances of going flawless, and then they go flawless and they come over the pool. But the thing is, if I go over the flawless matchmaking pool as an average player and I get stomped, I'm going to stop playing,
Yeah.
yeah.
and and that's the risk, right?
Well, I wonder why if that's why the
Ideally-
pool doesn't even open up till Friday afternoon, right? It's like
Yeah, because I want to populate
little-
it a bit first.
Yeah.
right.
Anyway, we're going to find out, right? We're going to find out because I played all weekend last weekend. So I think it'll be very obvious how it goes. And
Yeah.
Bunny's
Yeah.
obviously playing with it. And
I think that it's just, I don't see any way in which it can keep a healthy population start to end of the weekend, because a lot of people now, if they
yes.
want to go flawless, they will wait until Monday, because the player base of non-flawless players will be a lot smaller, and it'll probably be easier for them. So
True.
I think all it does is hurt having a consistent player base throughout the 4 days.
Yeah.
But
True.
I
I think you're right.
no, I would have loved to see the changes roll out in waves, right? So we had the revamp last week, which was
Same.
great. And then the next wave would be the lever protection and hiding the searching eval like 3 out of 6, so you could
Yep.
dodge stacks. I think if you roll it out in waves and see where it is, rather than putting, I mean, there's a lot of big changes going in. All
There
at
is,
once.
yeah.
It's just like, is it
Mhm.
needed?
Yeah.
I feel like Trials was in a really good spot after last week.
I think
that's-
maybe they were
that's what
surprised with the
scares me.
success of it, and they'd already
Yeah.
planned to like keep changing stuff when it
Maybe.
when it was successful. Like, oh, we got something.
That's really what
Rather
that's
than just
really
leave
what
it.
scares me and gets me bringing up all these points of like being concerned about population, because I loved Trials in D1 and I played it just to play it because it was fun. And it finally feels like that again after a very long time of not
Yep.
feeling like that. So
Don't
now
touch it.
I'm
Don't touch it.
terrified. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, please no, please no.
Leave it
Don't do it.
alone.
It's in a
Don't
gentle
All
break
it
it.
spot.
takes is one bad weekend and you will lose a lot of people.
Yes.
You will.
Yes.
People have a hair trigger on just like never
Yeah.
coming back to Trials,
I
right?
think a big part of
Yeah.
it too is that a lot of people won't even read the TWAB. They won't know these changes. Like the average player, they will just go from last week to trying this week and notice it's a lot more difficult. And then
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whether they know what the changes are and whether Bungie revert it or not, that's given them a bad impression, and they won't go back, and it will just hurt player base
It's
or
scary.
population.
I'm a little scared.
Everyone's scared. I think that's the
I'm a
general
little
consensus.
spooked. Okay, I'm a little scared.
We had fun. Please don't ruin it. Please don't ruin the fun.
Should we talk about the freelance stuff that's coming next week?
Yeah, so I can also just talk about, so next week there's a bunch of changes going in, which are some are exciting. Actually, it's just that flawless matchmaking pool thing that really spooks me, but everything else sounds pretty cool for the most part.
Mhm.
So next week, in addition to our first Trials Labs, which is going to be the Capture Zone Trials. So if anyone missed what this is before, it's essentially kind of like D1 Salvage, where there's going to be capture points that randomly appear and you can win the game by capturing it or just killing people.
I love
It's
this.
gonna, I think this might be fun
Yeah.
because it gets people
It's still
moving.
round based though, right?
I
Like,
believe
think so,
right?
yeah.
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 But different spawns every round or something. Like it's not.
Yeah.
set.
Yeah,
Few
it's
spawns.
not
It
set
sounds
in
cool.
stone, so you can't be like, I'm waiting here for this capture
Yeah.
point so I can win
Yeah.
the round. It's gonna be random. Get people moving and not
Yeah.
chilling.
Round-based salvage actually sounds really cool. I'm looking forward
It
to that.
sounds fun.
Yeah.
I think there's always been a
Um,
gap in Destiny for like a hard point type mode
Mhm.
ever since salvage. We
Same.
just never saw it back. But
Yep.
Big agree. They're also going to be disabling the special ammo replenishment on revive. So you still get special ammo if you kill someone or at the start of the round, but you will not die with no special and revive with full special.
Oh.
Very good change.
Yeah, that's a good change.
Is that just in that labs mode or in normal trials?
I don't know actually.
I don't think they
I
clarified.
feel like they should probably just do it, period.
Yeah,
I think it's a
probably.
good change. So hopefully they do. And it also says that we are disabling the matchmaking counter on the Trials of Osiris lobby. So if you notice that you were playing solo players a lot last weekend, and then all of a sudden you were only playing teams, it's because teams had started backing out as soon as they saw another team. They waited for it to say 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, and then they would stay to make, going flawless easier.
God, why are we like this?
Why are
This
we-
is why we can't have nice things.
I mean, that's
This
what we
is
had to
why
do-
there's a
that's what we
flawless
had to do
pool.
For we had to do that for tournaments back in D1 for private matches. You'd be like
Right.
3 out of 6 evaluating,
back up.
hold it.
They're also fixing an issue preventing you from being able to masterwork weapons from Saint 14's rank rewards. So that's just a new thing.
Fantastic.
Cool.
So that all sounds
Yeah, that
great.
was the
Like the
thing.
capture zone thing sounds really fun. I like anything that gets people moving and not just kind of sitting, hanging out makes me happy, generally.
So the question is, how effective is a freelance pool going to be? Like we're talking about 4 pools now, right? Freelance flawless pool, freelance solo, and then regular.
Yeah.
Well, so they said that when they were going to do the Trials Lab thing for freelance, it's going to be the whole playlist, right? Like you're not going to be able to.
Oh,
group
did they
up
say
and
that?
Play like normal. They
Oh, I
did say
missed
that
that.
when they were
I missed that, yeah.
launching, when they
Yeah,
were
it was going to be in Trials
launching,
Labs.
yeah, when they're launching Trials Labs, they're gonna make it the default mode or something for that
Oh, I didn't realize that.
weekend, so that they can get good numbers.
I just
But
assumed
then
it
I
was
feel
going to be
like
tucked in the corner like all
I feel like it wouldn't work
stuff.
very well for a test if you can only solo queue, because then you're not going to see what the population looks like, because everyone's going to
Yeah,
be playing freelance.
I don't think it should replace the main playlist, but I am very glad they are finally putting labs to use again, because that has been
Yes.
such just a neglected feature they could have used for so long to try different things out.
When was
So
the
I'm
last
glad
time a
they're
lab was
doing
around?
Woo.
it.
Is that year one?
Didn't they do it for like Team Scorched initially, like
Yeah,
year 1,
Scorched,
D2,
yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was like
remember
right in the
most
beginning.
recent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see them using labs again. But
Mhm.
I will always worry about splitting the population into multiple
Me too.
playlists.
Yeah.
Population is like it is just kind of my only concern is population, because Trials is good when there is a large population, and when there's not, it's bad. So
Yeah.
it really
Yeah.
it all hangs on the population being good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Population has hugely benefited from crossplay too, though. But
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's always going to be a lot healthier than it was. But I mean,
True.
even still, you don't want to split it too heavily.
Yeah. I feel like we hardly talked about that, and I just want to reinstate that, like the cross play for console, like obviously PC's on PC, so it's basically the same population, but like console, I mean, you basically doubled your population if you're on
Mhm.
Xbox or PS5, you know, like huge. Just suddenly there is twice as many people in all activities, and every time I match up, because I've been basically playing on PS5 exclusively right now, and
Mhm.
I'm always seeing people on like both sides. Basically, I'm like, oh, it's a crossplay, and it's PS5 crossplay, you know, and like it's same thing on Trials. I look at the team composition, I see various platforms on there. It's really cool.
I mean, even on PC, I'm seeing a pretty good amount of console players because
Yeah.
they're playing with PC players. Like, it's very
That's
common.
amazing.
At least like 2 or 3 teams a card. I was seeing it a lot.
That's really cool. Wow. I'd imagine for pulling people out of chat as well. Like that's like,
Oh, it's so easy, so
yeah,
nice.
there's no excuse. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter what
exactly.
platform.
Any platform flying. It's
Yeah, it's so nice.
it's so nice.
It's really cool.
The only issue is sometimes Discord. You'll get like someone on their phone with a terrible microphone, but you can deal with it. But I think Xbox has it built in now, right, or something like that. It has Discord like on
Discord
the
in it?
console. I'm
Discord
pretty
was going to
sure.
be on PlayStation eventually.
Okay. But yeah.
Yeah.
Integrating that I think will be big for just crossplay games in general.
Agreed.
That would,
Destiny
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, you came from Call of Duty, so you remember the days of open, like default
do.
open comms in lobbies with like
I do.
awful microphones.
Scary days.
And refreshing thoughts from people.
Yeah.
If
had- like,
racism
I
is
had-
refreshing, have at it.
Yeah.
Potpourri thoughts.
It was,
So it's I would actually say for the community or anyone listening, if you played Trials last week and you found it not fun because you were getting stomped, give it a try this week with this flawless matchmaking pool changes,
Yeah.
and let us know how it feels, because that's what I'm most interested in, is how it feels for those people, because if ultimately it feels great for them and it's feeling not too bad, then maybe that's a good thing and a good
Yeah.
change. But yeah, my focus is always population. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Healthy
Yeah.
population.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know. Let us know if it's played this weekend, and let us know how it goes.
When are
I'm
they making the
very intrigued.
change for the matchmaking number? Is that next weekend, not this weekend?
Next weekend, yeah.
Okay. So people will still kind of be scoping
dilly
out.
dally a little bit.
dodging
Yeah.
stacks.
Yeah.
People have done that. That needs to be a thing back in the comp playlist. People have done that forever.
Right.
Yeah.
The second you see a team, people just back.
Yeah.
Any PvP players with an incentive to win, I think people have always just done that because it
Yeah.
was so easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah. The majority of the time, it was extremely difficult to go against the 3-stack. But there was like a smaller percentage, like 20% of the time, where I was like, we just smoked that team.
Yeah, because like the 3 stacks as well as people just grabbing buds from anywhere and just being like, hey, let's go play some trials. We can get loot now. This is great. It doesn't always mean that they're hardcore doing call outs or that they're amazing players.
Yeah.
One of the worst trials teams I've ever been on was a 3-stack where it was people I picked up from the Planet Destiny. It was at the time, it was the Skype. Like we had a little Skype chat of everybody that was in Planet Destiny. And I just typed in there, does anybody want to play trials? And I got 2 more people and we got fucked.
And I think that's what started the whole LFG elitist must have 2 KD, 1200 policies type post.
People are talking in chat about that the like 2,600 people's KD dropped by one point or more.
People magically having a worse KD when a certain anti-cheat was put in.
So that's the cheat, the anti-cheat kicking in?
Yeah, that's
You
them
think?
basically saying that they got rid of their anti-cheat. Because
everyone either went up a bunch who wasn't cheating or went down a bunch who was cheating.
Yeah, it's true.
Because we don't play against them anymore.
Yep.
Oh man.
I mean, I play a lot of PvP, and I don't know if I've played any this season. So I mean, it does seem to genuinely be working. I logged in today and had one of those messages pop up on stream, or on screen. The thank you.
The ban hammer has been sealed.
So.
Oh, nice.
It seems good. Like genuinely,
it seems good. Yeah.
That's good.
I haven't seen any cheaters this season at all. So
it's so refreshing to get hit by a nice shot and be like, "Oh, nice shot."
I know, right?
There is to it.
I can be nice to people instead of, "Oh, you better watch him. I don't know. Be careful about this guy."
That is the worst thing as a streamer as well. The second you accuse someone, chat is anarchy. So I'm glad that's gone.
Can't even say, "You need to be careful." They're like, "Oh, you're saying I'm cheating? It's not cheating. This is my cousin's best friend. He's the best."
We're your cousin's best friends, a dirty fucking cheater. I suspect your auntie is too.
Oh man. So in terms of trials, did we cover everything?
I think so, right?
Yeah.
Last weekend was awesome. We're a little spooked by the changes coming
Bit spooked,
tomorrow.
yeah. But it's feeling good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I hope the map's good.
Should we go flawless right away, gamers? Probably.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
You might as well.
Yeah, if you have a chance to go flawless, do it.
You might as well see what it's like. You get the experience.
That's what I'm intrigued about is like going flawless and then playing all weekend and seeing how it feels throughout the weekend. Yeah.
Oh, you just want to jump in that pool?
I want to do it, but then I don't want to have a miserable time for 4 days doing carries.
That's the problem. If you're doing carries, it's
I think a lot of people will do the 6-win reset thing, and
they will.
Why wouldn't they? It'll make it easier for them, and they're helping their communities.
Although just gonna intentionally get a loss.
Yeah.
Then you have to reset your card, and you'll get.
Maybe you just man the fuck up and just play to win and see what happens.
I just hate the idea of you do it once and bang, a switch is flipped and you just have.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. It's like if you do it once and then it's just all bad from there.
Yeah.
Are you doing?
I'm gonna come into Benny's chat and just be like, "Pussy won't go flawless. Go flawless, you won't, mate. 1v1 me."
Oh, Mars, can we get a ban on that guy?
Don't ban me, please.
Finally gets banned in every chat he turns up in.
I saw someone mention in chat the 3-peaking also, and I know that was a discussion.
Yeah,
that was pretty hot for a while.
The removal of that has been awesome because now I can just challenge lanes without being like, "Oh, he's watching me."
I'll be honest. I thought my emotes were broken for 50% of the games, and I was like, "Oh, the 3-peaking's gone."
The Elixni baby. That's a good one to pull out. The baby.
We also didn't mention the just round length in general. I think
that's been really good too.
True. Yeah.
A lot.
We got reduced to what, a minute and a half?
It was from 120 to 90 or something.
Yeah, it's
something
90 now.
Yeah, it's definitely 90 now.
Across the board,
is so different. The pace is so different of the matches.
Across the board, it just feels good right now. I think that's why we're so scared.
That's why we're so scared, because they're like, you hit this very thin line of things feeling good, and I'm scared of it tipping in any direction.
So overwhelmingly good too. It's just everyone is having a good time, and I don't think it needs the changes. But I'll be
You
optimistic.
can imagine Bungie going into the office on Monday going, wait, what? The community's happy? We've got
Happy over trials?
The PvP
What?
players.
Look at this population
Check it twice.
explosion.
It's got to be a mistake.
Did we come into the wrong office? It's a prank.
Oh, man.
Great.
That's great.
Oh,
Probably.
God.
Well, I'd love to keep talking about trials, and I'm excited to play trials tomorrow. But
Yeah.
there was some other stuff. There was an exotic. There's, lore.
Oh,
the exotic quest.
yeah.
That's
There
right.
was lore and stuff. That's
Yeah.
right.
There
Yeah.
was law.
That's why this
Benny.
guy's here.
Benny, how good's your law, mate?
I'm not the best equipped for this.
Good, because you can't do everything. You can't be good at the law and good at PvP.
I didn't even get the gun yet, but I hear it's fine
All right.
in PvP, so I'm not worried.
I got it yesterday.
It's very fun to use
Yeah.
in PvE anyway.
PvE is fun, yeah.
Can you
Very
explain
fun.
what it
PvP
does?
kind of meh.
Can you explain what it does?
It-
Because I actually didn't. I got it and I didn't really read it. I saw it
course you
froze
didn't
some
read it.
stuff. No, I don't read.
Remember when Tefty used to say, I don't read because it's on stream and I don't want to bore people?
Yeah, it's actually
No, he
in.
just doesn't know how to
He
read.
just doesn't read.
It's all facets of life. Unless it's very pertinent and technical to the moments, I'm not going to read it.
On final blows, I think it slows surrounding enemies, but if you get multiple final blows, obviously they'll freeze. So
Yes.
Nice.
you can just basically add clear.
Okay.
Everything starts getting slowed and frozen, and then they shatter. It feels really fun.
Apparently, it's really good with Stasis Warlock, is what I hear, because the aspect that makes the chainy thing, the chain freeze, works with the gun.
Bolt.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Interesting.
Warlocks.
Yes.
I liked your
Uh,
tweet today, this week, Watts, about unlocking Stasis Warlock.
Yep. Yep. And Brian was like, wait, Warlocks have stasis?
Yeah.
I will
I almost
confess.
thought I
got
couldn't get
some
the
work
gun.
to do on my Warlock.
You had to load up the glass weight, and I went to go load it up, and it said you had to finish Beyond Light, so I panicked. But luckily, I could give the lead to someone else.
Really? Is that
Yeah.
locked? Is
my
Glassway locked?
I can't do it. Got to finish the
So
whole
you did
campaign.
the
I was like,
campaign?
that's a long campaign. I don't think I can do
You know,
that
it's interesting.
quickly."
I've actually finished it on my Warlock. I did it before we decided this crazy bet with chat on donation goals. And
Wow,
yeah, I already had Stasis unlocked, but I don't have any of the fragments. Zero.
Mm.
I still to this day cannot go to the spider on my hunter because I have to finish Shadowkeep or something like that. Finish Forsaken.
There needs to be like a time limit on that stuff, right? Like, okay,
Yeah.
I think I
Right.
like deleted.
let me
Hunter
just do it.
and then ended up making another one, and then
Oh,
the story's
interesting.
just not done. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
always
So when you
ask
pick
one
up
of
the
my
cool
friends,
gun, you get a cutscene.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
week.
you
There's
do.
a cool cutscene.
Yeah.
There is another sort of ink
It-
blot cutscene.
Question. Is that where
Yes.
Aldrin was laid to rest? Where
In the vault? No,
no?
I don't think
No.
so.
It looked
no,
similar,
it's-
didn't it? Like a gazebo type of
Um,
looking area.
I
No,
think
he
the
was because his
the
grave was
cutscene was-
outside.
He was outside the
Right.
well the
I was
tomb, whatever he was laying on. Yeah.
I was thinking that the rock formations were some sort of things that like formed afterwards. So that's why I was like, I was wondering. I knew I was most likely wrong, but I thought I'll ask Mylin live on a podcast.
Hefty was trying to get a
Good point.
step ahead with the lore. He was trying to just like
Right.
flex a little bit and didn't work.
I'll get
Yep.
I'll get verified incorrect live right now.
Incorrect. You are now on 1 out of 3. If you get 3 things wrong, you get kicked.
Can I get
You
kicked?
get penance. You get Mylan penance, lore penance.
Yeah. You must read 20 Grimoire cards from Destiny 1 and like, comment, and subscribe on my most recent video. So we go into the whole thing is Aldrin, not Crow. Aldrin had been mapping the stars, so to speak, and we were discovering these clues to access this awoken vault where this weapon would be, which was the scepter. And while that's happening, we are getting this metaphor about the 2 kestrels, which are birds, like falcon kind of birds, and they represent Marasov and Aldrin. It's a little bit confusing because apparently this is a story that Aldrin would tell like awoken children, but obviously the story keeps changing a bit like a tale because Mara tells us the rest of the story, and it's after Aldrin would have died and stuff like that. So she's obviously adding to the story. But that's the two birds are meant to represent Marasov and Aldrin, and it's a bit.
I can hardly pay attention to when Aldrin is talking because it's like it's so roundabout. But then when Mara starts talking, it's like, okay, it makes sense what he said. She explains it well.
Neither of them explain. I'm just sitting there like, okay, bird, scepter,
Storm,
queen, storm.
Bird.
I'm just trying to focus very hard. It doesn't go well.
It is essentially explaining their relationship, and it reflects back a lot on previous lore that we know about how they function, and specifically Aldrin. You know,
he wants to do it with his sister.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it like that, bro.
he's feeling that heartbeat a little too close.
He is. What did she say? He is.
I think she said
devotion. He prone to devotion.
Stepsis, I'm stuck, I believe is the exact words that we use.
That's a nice way to say he wants to knock boots with his sister.
You see how hard it is telling lore on this podcast? We'll get there. So we get the cutscene, and there are different parts of the scene that describe history in Destiny. The first part, where she talks about the storm and the burbs going into the storm, is actually the Taken King cutscene with the Awoken fleet versus Oryx. Okay, and she says Crow goes down, and that was the scene where we saw Crow's ship like crash. We didn't actually know if he was dead at that time. We later worked out he crashed on Mars, and he went and saw the House of Kings, and he tried to rebuild the Fallen, and he was also corrupted, and that led in, and he also felt Mara's presence still before we knew Mara was alive, which led into his obsession with finding Marasov, which led into the events of Forsaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we saw the bird go down in the cutscene. That was Crow's ship crashing, and Mara said she dove into the storm to destroy it, and that refers to the plan of Marasov intentionally dying to enter Oryx's throne world, to then have Guardians kill Oryx so she could claim the throne, essentially. So that's what that little
What a
section.
greedy bitch.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, damn.
It's a heist. You break into the vaults, and then when the owner dies, you break back out with all the goodies. Now, the bit that we didn't know, because we obviously know that plan sort of went wrong because Oryx invaded Mara's throne world, Islenia. I can't remember how to pronounce it. The Shattered Realm, right? The Shattered Throne. And the Taken got in there and destroyed it all. And so something went wrong in her plan. And in this cutscene, she says she met the voice in the darkness. And that was told to us last week, that the voice in the darkness is the entity. So she had a confrontation with the entity, and she said that the entity sent the storm. And this is hard to interpret, because if you interpret that literally, it means the entity sent Oryx, because in this metaphor, the storm is the battle between the Awoken and Oryx. Yep. She says that the voice in the darkness sent the storm. So if you say that literally, does that mean that Oryx was actually acting on behalf of the entity, which is big because it's always been Oryx's will. He's always been like his own thing. But they started to break down the lore about Oryx previously, because remember the week before that we got told that Oryx borrowed the Taken. He didn't make them. So I wonder if this is dovetailing into, there's been a big baddie all along that's been pulling the strings, and now Bungie's starting to give us a little bit of information about this new villain being the entity.
Oryx was leasing the Taken from some big bad entity.
Yeah.
That Mara was talking to.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't take it literally, it could be that the entity, she's just saying like the entity is the greatest representation of the darkness. And it's just that the storm is just always the conflict with the darkness. So it might just be that she's saying, I encountered the entity and that's what happened, right?
Yeah. It feels like they're building up to a big new baddie that's going to get revealed, right?
Big boy.
Yeah.
Right. Once the Witch Queen is dead, or Zivu Wrath or something like that, it's going to lead to like the ultimate darkness takedown.
It's going to be one of those old men scions.
Shriveled up.
He just walks just like a shriveled peanut on a chair.
Benny, are you still with us? This cat's concerned. Are you still with us?
Well,
there will be a quiz.
I'm trying
we will
to piece
quiz
it
you
together,
after this.
but
You better take it notes.
Yeah. Mylan after the show always gives us a 20-question quiz.
I'll be studying the VOD.
Then Mara talks about gathering her feathers and forming an aegis, a shield, but it started to break down. And I think this is a metaphor for Forsaken when, we went into the Queen's Court every week and she was, she spoke to the Exo Stranger, she spoke to the Nine. She was planning the pyramid ship invasion and how to defend everyone. So I think this is her gathering her Techians, gathering her weapons, scheming, and trying to defend humanity, so to speak, or trying to fight back. So, and obviously something went wrong there. We don't exactly know what Mara's been doing and what her overall plan has been. Obviously, she's come back with this idea of getting rid of Savathun, but
she's getting ready for the end titty.
And titty. Yeah. And titty. Yep. She feels a heartbeat again, which is Aldrin's revival. So they're obviously connected. The Awoken are sort of telepathically connected. Like Mara being the queen of the Awoken, the first Awoken, she can sense a lot of the Awoken, and she obviously has a connection with her brother. So when he was revived as a guardian, she recognized that. And she says the reason why she came home was because she felt Aldrin be resurrected. Now this, everyone we need tinfoil hats. Everyone put your tinfoil hats on.
Wait a minute. If she felt Aldrin be resurrected.
Yep.
What's that mean? Does that mean
she could feel a heartbeat?
Is that still her brother?
Well, this is what they're playing with. This is what it gets to, is that I brought up this concept last week. Bungie's playing with the idea that you sort of can't escape your destiny, and that aspects of you that make you will persist beyond death, and if you're revived, you'll still be and that's sort of what they're playing with. Like, that's why Petra Venge said she can't talk to Savathun. It's like, I see traces of Aldrin in you, of who you are. That's why Mara's like, he's prone to devotion.
So she thinks he's a bad guy too.
Mara knows that Mara believes that Aldrin through and through is someone who will always be manipulated beyond death in life. As a guardian, he is a character that is prone to fall.
Right.
He's prone to the lady manipulation, which we said last week.
Yeah, they've stated multiple times that he needs like the guiding star, right? He needs his North Star to follow.
So that's why she gave us the scepter, because I think she wants us to somehow lead Aldrin back to her, really. And this is where the big bombshell, after you get the cutscene, Mara says, if actors had not failed, I would have had Aldrin the light bearer.
The fudge does that mean?
Tinfoil hats on.
Tinfoil hats.
When everyone got their hats on?
Yes.
When we before that, you listen to the dialogue between Ikora Ray and Mara Soph, and they're yelling at each other. Ikora says, wasn't Petra meant to watch the grave of Aldrin? And then if you read the lore entry from this week, Petra apologizes for letting Aldrin escape the Dreaming City as a guardian, because he was obviously he was buried there and revived. And Mara's like, it should have never happened. He should have never left the city. And Mara's pissy because this ruined her chances of essentially controlling a guardian because she knows that he's prone to devotion, and if he was in the Dreaming City, she could
Oh,
return,
Mhm.
and she
So
would.
she wanted to be Spider.
She
Yeah.
wanted to be. Here's your spinfold hat. How?
My hand.
It's a hat. Everyone put your hats on. How did Marasov know or predict, or rather, did she know that Aldrin was going to be revived as a guardian?
I
Why
mean, she
would
must
Petra
have,
be
right?
guarding the grave? And who are the actors that she talks about? Because it sounds like what she implies is she had a plan to get a guardian.
Yeah.
She says, if actors hadn't failed, I would have Aldrin the Lightbearer. So she had some sort of plan to control and manipulate Aldrin the Lightbearer.
Yeah.
So, was it?
Diving.
Did she make a wish? Did she intentionally revive her brother as a guardian? And like all Ahamkara wishes, it backfires. She didn't. She lost control of it. He never should have left the Dreaming City, but he did. And guess who stuffed it up? We did, because we freed Aldrin from Spider, right?
We did.
Here's my other theory. We know that Spider is really, really scared of Marasov at the moment, and he says
he wants to peace out.
he wants to yeet out, and he says, "Oh, it's because I tortured him, all this kind of stuff." What if he was meant to keep Crow under control until Mara returned, and the reason why he's running away.
Shit.
The reason why he's running away is because he is one of the failed actors that stuff up the plan. Just like Petra let Aldrin leave the city.
How would she know that he's gonna get resurrected by a ghost, though? Like, how would she?
That's the bit I don't know.
That's the question, Briar. How does she know? Huh?
So could it just be that she's because we know that she sensed when Aldrin was revived. So she could have started enacting these plans once she realized he was a guardian. So once he was revived, we know that she was talking to Petra. She's like, Petra, he's back. Make sure he doesn't leave the Dreaming City. So that's when the plan could have started.
Mm-hmm.
We also get dialogue.
But didn't
in
she
the
tell
activity.
Petra though? Didn't she tell Petra to watch the grave? Not watch
Well, that's
him
what
since he
Akora
woke up?
says. Wasn't Petra meant to watch the grave?
Got it.
Well, what? Wow, fuck. Well, what's Ikora think about all this? Because if she knew that Petra was supposed to watch the grave,
weird. Yeah, you're right, guys. You're doing it. You're doing it. Keep going.
God damn.
Briar's invested now. This is like
This is the best story. This is the best story.
This is like how
that we've had.
Mylan started playing Trials. It's now
Yeah.
This is Briar on lore.
Yeah.
Earlier
I'm
it
just
was
looking
Mylan
forward-
on Trials.
This is why I'm looking forward to reset every week right now. I'm looking forward to seeing what the
Yes.
story is going to happen.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
Yeah.
And how does Ikora know? Why does she know?
oh,
Does
okay.
she
why
have
does
anything
she
to do
know?
with that?
Because they talk about the hidden.
Maybe
So-
she knows who the end titty is.
Maybe she is the end. Okay.
She
The
is
end
the
titty?
end titty?
The entity. Yeah.
The camera's gone. The other thing, well, because they say that they talk about Akora's hidden spies, because Akora has her own spy network, right? So they are obviously aware that Petra, yes, you're right. They were aware that Petra was monitoring Aldrin's grave.
Yeah. A little sus. Why did you think?
Why would
Why?
you do that?
Yeah,
Why
Well,
would
maybe
you do
you
that?
would. You know why you would do that is because you
Grave
knew
robbers.
that this guy killed Cade. So there would be people who wanted to go deface that grave. So there's other reasons besides you
I don't
thought
know
he
if
was going to
that's
be
good enough
resurrected as
of
a
a
guardian.
reason to like put a full guard duty on a
Yeah,
dead body.
specifically
Petra's
Petra.
kinda- You put
She's
like
kind of up there, you know.
Yeah.
You put
Yeah.
like one of the little boys on the grave duty.
Put an
Yeah.
AI
Do you
bot
know
on
what
there.
do you know what adds to the theory is we get a dialogue option in the activity, the astral alignment, and Crow's like, "Oh," to Petra, "I remember you. You were hanging around the Tangled Shore. What were you doing there?" And then she says something else. I'm like, okay, so after she failed watching the grave, then she was in cahoots with Spider, and she was checking up on basically Mara's asset being Aldrin the Lightbearer to keep him there.
you say asset in the spy sense of the word.
Asset. a tool to use and abuse.
So where do you
Yeah.
think this ultimately
This
ends,
makes
though? If
sense.
if she lost her chance at having a light bearer, and
She's
obviously
never
there's
gonna lose a chance because Aldrin it has the hots for sister.
no, not specifically. He's questioning, but he's actually more thinking about Savathun. He's extremely curious about Savathun,
No,
and
he also loves
Savathun.
Good point.
Savathun's gonna have Lightbearer or Hive in her throne world next season. Like, is she gonna get the information somehow by like deconstructing?
He's just trying to shoot a new video of one crow, two queens.
Is she gonna pull the crow apart and like take the energy and know how to make light from crow?
I'm stuck on one crow, two queens, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's that one.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be cool because I think it's possible that Mara could turn on us. I think that's what the solution. I think it's possible that they create Crow as the doomed character, which is fantastic because Crow went from everyone hated him, everyone wanted revenge, and then boom, everyone feels empathetic, everyone loves Crow. He's back
Not
in.
everyone.
Like, okay,
Most
except for Briar.
humans.
Most people with a
She
heart.
said an ember. An ember of Aldrin is left. That's all.
Yeah. And
Is it
he
the
destined
sister
to fail?
fucking number?
Very hot. Very hot. It's good. I'm excited. So
Yeah. It's incredibly exciting to see where this is going. I want to
I
know.
agree.
Yeah.
I had the same theory. I understood it all.
Yeah.
Benny's just been making sure you're on the right track the whole time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
checking email.
Ready to
Ready
correct
to
me if you got
interject
something
with the
wrong. I think you
correct
killed it.
information.
Yeah.
Big
and-
deal.
You know what they're doing good right now with the story is that they're giving you a lot to chew on every week, but they're also not answering all the questions every week. They're opening up new questions every week, so it's fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so
I'm looking forward to talking to Mylan every Thursday night
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. I was just going to say that they're definitely pointing us towards the direction of when Savathun and Crow meet, it's going to be some sort of like fireworks, something.
Love
Catastrophic, really.
reunion.
Right.
So,
Something's
That's
happening.
when Destiny goes to M rated.
It's yeah.
How's that crystal get shattered? That's what I want to know.
oh, true.
Crow's penetrating love. Anyways, I'm excited to see where that goes. It's really
Yeah.
The crow's
All right, let's
beak.
do some Twitter questions
Yeah,
before the show
crow's
is over.
beak. I like that.
cool. Yeah, I think
You mean cancelled?
There were a bunch of people who said this, but Gump said at AR_McD, this work is incredible. Talking about the art
Fifth
she did for
Lord.
Betty this week.
Benny the Sith Lord. Yeah.
There was like
Fifth
20
Lord.
people who said that, so I just felt like once again we should shout out Ash. She does
Yeah, it was
amazing
amazing.
artwork week after week.
absolutely.
Zalman says, question for Benny. Why so good? But seriously, what goes through your mind when playing your 1v3 series, and how do you approach each engagement?
I mean, one thing about PvP is I feel like every fight and situation, every round can be different because you never get the same fight twice. Your opponents will always do something different, and I think playing off damage is something that higher level players do really well. That a lower
What's that
skill player isn't going to. For example, if I 2-tap someone and I have an arc bolt from like my most recent 1v3 video, I will always try and like get a kill with a grenade because I know they're weak enough to one hit with a grenade. Or say if I've tapped someone once with a hand cannon in the head, I have a sniper on me. Why would I ever go for a headshot when I know a body shot's going to kill? It's kind of knowing the damage combinations that will give you a much easier time of getting a specific kill. And then a lot comes down to map knowledge, which just takes time. Game sense of knowing how long a revive is going to take, or if you're both weak, if you throw a grenade whilst you're regenning health, that stops their regen, so you're going to win that 1v1 every time. There is so much to it in Destiny because there's so many different weapons, loadouts, and I hate to give such a generic answer as play the game and learn it well. But that is what is required to build game sense. You do really just need to
Get good,
build a
you
deep
might say?
understanding of the game. Not in those
Yeah.
terms, but
Yeah,
it,
that's
I
kinda
mean, it
I
was
think
from
that was a
scratch.
great answer about damage. That was insightful, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or you could equip the toaster, be a
could
bottom
just one
tree
hit.
Dawn Blade. And they fixed Dawn Chorus today, the helmet, so your burn lasts twice as long. And just make people explode.
So you're healing
And
in
you
your
don't even
super.
really need to
I didn't
aim.
even know that was I didn't know that was a thing.
Sounds
I saw
good.
you healing in your Dawn Blades.
It's pretty fun.
I'll have to try that out.
It's
I've been-
silly.
I've enjoyed baiting people thinking I'm weak, and then I eat a nade, and then I'm like, surprise! How about a voop in the
Surprise,
face?
It's in case people don't know, I'll explain it again in case people don't know. So bottom tree Dawnblade has something where every time you kill someone that's burning, it explodes the person. So it works with the toaster where you hit them with the toaster, they're burning, they die, and then they explode and make other people burn around them, and then those people explode and then burn the other people around them, and then you have a Slayer medal.
Huh.
Miss 5,000 watts.
Easy.
The Warlock main. Very knowledgeable on the Warlock subclass.
Damn it. I only play bottom tree Dawnblade. I haven't played anything else.
Have you been enjoying it, Watts? Have you been enjoying the change?
I enjoy explosions. So I had one where people, you know, that one map where people jump over. Anyway, people were jumping all in one spot. I threw one grenade and they all just exploded, and I got a Slayer medal from it. And it's happened so many times because it's just a chain of exploding, exploding, exploding. It's fun, and that's why I can't take the toaster off. It's not a great weapon against people that know how to.
You've been maining the toaster?
Slightly. I've been maining the toaster.
Wow, I did not see this.
Well,
happening.
so the meta in Trials ended up being, or a lot of people started doing the stag helmet, putting down rifts, and everyone
Arc
just sits in the Arc Soul like stag
Yeah.
rift. So you just shoot a Jotun shot at them and they're all dead.
Huh.
So it was great.
There were a lot of people busting out the Risk Runner, and you would just
Lots
eat
of
the
risk
Arc Soul.
runners. Yeah,
Interesting.
Yep.
lots of risk runners.
Yeah, I was gonna say what we didn't talk about it, but what was like the main loadout? You think what was the thing that you saw the most in Trials?
I found it really interesting because the gun that had 6% of kills, so double the second top, was the Vex Mythoclast. It was the highest by a long, long way. And I thought,
Really?
do that many people have access to it? But it was the top by a long way.
Interesting. I saw quite a few Vex Mythoclast. I didn't die to it very often though.
There was a lot of Vex, a lot of Darkest before, and just pulse
Yeah.
rifles in general because they hurt real bad.
Yeah.
They do a lot of damage right now.
I was
A lot of
surprised.
140s, like
Yeah.
Ace, Fatebringer, Pally. They're
Yeah.
always around.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those. I saw a lot of pulse rifles. I also saw a lot of people running two primaries. I don't know if they were just trying to.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw
Really?
people running like shares or something, or a sidearm with like a pulse rifle instead of running with a shotgun, because then I guess they have, slightly more range in the close range that they can engage people with.
Yeah.
So I saw that a lot.
Also on PS5, I did not see as many snipers as I thought I was going to see, which I don't know. Maybe.
Listen.
A big part of it is
Sniping.
probably the ammo economy not
Yeah.
carrying over. I feel like snipers and grenade launchers probably got hurt the most by that, whereas a shotgunner, it doesn't
Definitely.
affect that much. So.
Yeah. Interesting.
We got a lot of questions about Trials in general. So I'm going to read the questions, and you guys tell me if we already talked about it. Super Saiyan D says, I was wondering about your all thoughts on the Trials revamp and specifically the impact of Battle Eye.
Oh, Battle Eye, huge. Yes.
Big.
Less cheating.
Big.
Yeah. That stat, 2,000 people losing the 1.0 KD. That's hilarious.
It is funny.
Dream Tether says, do solo players belong in Trials outside of just being farmed by stacked teams, of course? And will this help Trials in the long term?
I
More
say,
people
yeah.
mow better, right?
I saw a lot of people who routinely say that they're not good at PvP, and they went solo flawless. I saw a lot of people going solo flawless.
Yeah.
I think the answer is yes overall, definitely, but I do still think there needs to be some sort of fire team protection, like I mentioned earlier, that they shouldn't be playing 3 stacks as often as they are. But in general,
Agreed.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
You'd
weighted
rather solos
matchmaking.
play than not have the option at all. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
helps population.
Yeah, I think the gatekeeping concept of what Trials has been in the past versus what it could be with solo matchmaking is like it's clearly better to have more people playing, and the playlist is healthier. So going forward, this direction is definitely going to be better. And some people are going to get really good at Trials that never would have thought of tried playing Trials ever. And they're going to be
Absolutely.
like, "Oh,
Do you think
I
this
actually really
lesson
like
is
this."
going to get learned and then applied to raids?
No,
No.
I don't. Raids requires so much more communication. It's not even like, yeah. Do you imagine trying to do a DPS phase on a boss? And plus, it's like
I don't know. 3 years ago, I couldn't imagine doing Trials of Osiris without
Does
being able to talk to my teammates.
is guided games still in the
Yeah,
game? Like, can you still do
it
guided
is.
games raids?
I believe so, right? It just people don't talk about it much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you have to do at least an hour to 2 hours to play a raid. Like that's a commitment. And yeah, I just
And a lot of people have their raid team as well, where they do their 3 raids with their friends every week, and that's their raid team. So a lot of people like that.
Yep. Like if you're having a bad time in Trials, you're gonna get like 5-0'd and then you're on to the next team. It's pretty quick.
Yeah, and the like 5 teams continuously getting 5-0 protection, I think, is nothing but a good thing. And they clarified that it's not going to help you like Cheese Flawless is. It'll be back once you've won a game, but it's just going to stop players from losing that motivation of losing again and again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ultimately, you know, I saw a lot of people who didn't go flawless, but they were able to complete, you know, a full armor set that they never even had the option, or they didn't feel they had the option of getting at all before. So, you know, you're getting stuff that you thought you could never have, which is great.
Yeah.
Fateless Nerd says, should loot be a reward in PvP or should the rewards be cosmetic only? Also, what the fuck is a Hobbit Myelin, and why do you call you audience that?
So
Taking the Hobbit's Isengard.
when I
Bring it back to
started
the Shire.
streaming on Twitch more regularly, obviously my Twitch personality is very different from YouTube. And to make fun of my own community, people coming over from YouTube who loved the lore, I did a skit where I put on like a hood and I'll be like, oh, what's your lore? And you know, like a lore hobbit. I don't know why I said they were a hobbit, because I think I was trying to make fun of them. And I was sort of crawling into the stream with a hood on. Tell me the lore, and it just stuck around. And then they ended up being the lore hobbits. You know, the hobbits are sneaky. They're a little bit annoying. They like breakfast and second breakfast, and so it ended up being a really good
Like
fit for the
breakfast?
community.
I feel like they're well read hobbits, right?
Yeah,
They're informational,
friendly, well-read.
resourceful.
Yeah, they need a Gandalf in their life and need someone to guide them. But if you put them in the right direction, they can be aggressive too. They can
So
gang
you
up.
are the Gandalf of your community of hobbits.
The Hobbit gang
Is
up.
that what I'm
I'll
taking
tell
from
you,
it?
oof, I'm a wizard, Harry. Yeah, maybe I'm Gandalf. Don't know.
What was the
I
other
feel like
question?
I'm more Frodo. I've got no idea what's going on, and I need someone to carry me most of the time.
Kind of accurate based on Charles.
Yeah.
Milo's like, wait, how do I go to the lighthouse? I've never been here before.
What do I
How do
click on? Yep.
Oh,
What's the first part of the
don't
question?
even don't remember. Don't talk to Mylan about kebabs
Kebab?
or
kebabs?
burritos.
Shrimp on the Barbie?
Please,
What's your
please don't
What's
get
your
this
beef
started.
with burritos?
He doesn't know the difference, Briar. He doesn't know the difference between the two. He has no
look,
idea.
Kebab and a burrito?
Yes.
No,
A kebab?
yes, actually, yes. I was in the kitchen. We were having some lunch, and I said to everyone, "I'm having a burrito," and everyone's like, "That's not a burrito." And then it spiraled into, what's the difference between a burrito, a wrap, and a kebab?
Isn't there loads of types of kebabs though?
Let's. I don't
Like,
know why
are
you
we
do
gonna go
this.
to
One.
specifics? Like,
This was like an hour conversation.
It was very long. It was
So
great.
if you want to get to the bottom of this, you should watch Mylands or watch the stream from Friday.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
hit that
was
VOD.
yesterday? Was
This
it
is
yesterday?
yesterday.
It
Okay.
could
I
have
don't
been
know.
yesterday.
I was just yelling at Mylan saying, "Oh, Mylan's like, oh, it's a meat on a stick, and there's a tortilla wrap. What could possibly be the difference? They look the same."
I
Hold up.
offended many food connoisseurs.
Wait, yeah, are you talking about a kebab like on a skewer type of thing?
No, no,
Not
no.
well-
No,
Mylan
no,
doesn't want to talk about it. What was the other question?
because
Kebabs,
I was saying you also
kebabs
have a
sometimes are like meat on a stick, but sometimes they look like a wrap.
yeah,
But-
like
Depends
I don't
on
know
who's
if you
eating
do
all
you
of
this.
it.
don't you don't wrap them. You don't wrap. You just like put them like.
Yeah.
No, you do no. Oh, now we
It
get
looks
back
almost
to
like a
this
big taco.
conversation.
I have never seen a kebab wrapped ever. A kebab is
Okay.
always a kebab.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
stick
well,
with
I'm
things
with you,
put on it.
FD. It was
Okay,
news
hold
to
on.
me in my like early 20s. I was like, wait, what is this? That's not a
Hold on.
kebab. But it was.
In Australia, right? When you're in your night clubbing years, okay, and it's 2 a.m. in the morning, do you go get a kebab?
In New York, yeah, you do.
Because
Yeah.
that's what you do. And
Yeah,
there's a
UK
there's
you
a
do
big,
as well.
there's a rotating meat stick. The guy shaves off the lamb. He wraps it in whatever. You pick your toppings, tomato, lettuce, whatever.
Lamb is a generous word, I feel like, too.
Meat stick, yeah, whatever the meat
The meat
is.
stick,
rotating.
whatever's on your local meat stick.
Yeah.
Doner kebab, right? You get a kebab, right? So
Is it? Yeah, I feel like that's a gyro or gyro. Shawarma.
Well, no,
I
it's a
feel like
doner
they're
kebab.
similar, yeah. I feel like they're similar.
I feel
We
like they're
call it a kebab.
identical.
we call it a kebab. So this is what started the conversation. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
How it happened. Yeah. Yep. That's how it happened.
Oh, look at Chad getting triggered. No, it's a what?
How
I've
would
never
you
seen
even
that word?
how would you even like correlate that to a burrito though? Like a burrito is fully wrapped.
Yeah. Burrito's fully wrapped, and it's different flavors in there too. Like
I see the rage in my eyes. Maybe we should move on.
I'm gonna move on.
It could be a Destiny community podcast meme once again. Is it a kebab or is it a burrito? And you just have it on a T-shirt, and one's a stick, and one's a flat piece.
I mean, it's
thing,
easy.
turkey wrap.
If it's
Come
got
on,
its
I want team
insides
kebab
spilling
on
out, it's definitely a kebab or shawarma or whatever. Not a burrito.
Oh, yeah.
Jostel Porden says, Benny question, would an in-game leaderboard with a glory ranking system rework be sufficient for people that want to take it competitively? So an in-game
Sorry, I'm still thinking
leaderboard.
of kebabs and fucking burritos while I'm looking at Chad. Can you repeat the question?
An in-game
It's to Benny.
leaderboard
Don't
with
worry.
a glory
No one cares about your opinion on the leaderboard.
in-game leaderboard with a glory ranking system rework be sufficient for people that want to take it seriously?
I mean, I like the idea of it. It's really hard to say because up until now, it would have been filled with cheaters, recos, DDoSing and stuff. So we've never really had a Destiny PvP environment in which it would be like which you could cater towards it. I like the idea of it, but at the same time, I mean, like when we do our scrim tournaments and stuff, the list of rules is absurd. Like because there is so much stuff that really doesn't fit in a competitive environment, and I mean, it almost seems like there's more stuff banned than unbanned because there is a lot of stuff they
Yeah.
just don't think would be allowed. And if Bungie were to implement it in the game, everything would go because it's in the game for a reason. And I'm not sure if Destiny, at least I don't treat it like that game anymore. I think Trials is great, and I think Trials is as competitive as it's going to get in terms of an in-game playlist. But in terms of a strict like actual leaderboard, comp or ranked playlist, I'm not really sure. I mean, it could work out great. I could be wrong about it, but it's not something I have a huge desire to see. But I know some other PvP people. I know Gigs has been asking for that for years, and he thinks it would be great. So I have no idea really.
Isn't this kind of the conundrum when like they put some good will or effort towards PvP, and then people are suddenly like, okay, now we need a comp ranked, 1 through 50 Halo situation going on because like this is clearly working. But I feel like they have to find a spot where PvP is good, but it's also not the next competitive FPS.
Yeah. I think the best
Yeah.
thing they can do for a comp playlist is what they did in literally season 1 and then never did it again, where the gun is obtainable, being Redrick's Claymore at 2100, and then those people that want to keep grinding to 55, there was an ornament for the gun. It was purely cosmetic. They never did that again. They did like Luna's and Not Forgotten. They did Revoker. They did actual guns. Whereas season 1, they had just a pure cosmetic ornament for the Redrick's Claymore, which I mean, that's great. It's not affecting the gameplay. You can't really complain that a good player has this ornament and you don't, because it's like,
Yeah.
it's an ornament. I think it should be cosmetic or maybe an emblem or something like that if they do want to go down that route. But I don't think it should be anything in the same realm as what Not Forgotten was, because that caused a lot of people issues that couldn't get it. I love the gun, but not everybody had access to it, and it was very, very strong.
We've
It's a funny
talked
concept to be like, hey, you're a great player. We'll give you an even better weapon.
Yeah, and I think Not Forgotten was that, because it was hard to get 55 back then. It took a lot of time in comp. And Not Forgotten it was a 180 that 3-tapped. It was the best gun in the game. 2-tap if you had the perk. So.
We've talked a few times on the podcast about it, like how there should be like a set of cosmetics that, you know, as you rank up the list for a competitive playlist, I feel like that would give people incentive to want to like collect those rewards that really love sitting in that
for sure.
playlist, right? But it
I
can't
think
just
cosmetic stuff can be there.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be that gameplay affecting.
Yeah, it can't just be though hit 2000 and then 5500. Like there needs to be stop ways.
Yeah,
up the ladder.
for sure.
A gradual climb
Exactly. Yeah.
to replicate ranks. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see it work. I've mentioned this before, but I'd love to see it work like the Call of Duty system used to, where, you know, if you got, you know, 10,000 kills with a weapon, you got like, you know, a certain camo for a weapon. And if you got 50,000 kills with a weapon, you got like the autumn camo. You know, like that'd be so dope. Like, and yeah, it would be unattainable for a lot of people, but like for the people who really loved one weapon and put in the time with it, like, I think it'd be really rewarding.
I don't see an issue with putting in these crazy requirements as long as they are purely cosmetic and aren't affecting gameplay that much.
Yeah.
But then I think Destiny is in such a weird space in PvP where there's 1,000 different roles, there's 1,000 different weapons, there's 1,000 different exotics builds. Yeah. It's not like
they also want to
can't
sell
really compare it
cosmetics.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they want money for cosmetics, not
it's so hard to
gameplay.
compare it to like something as simple as Halo or COD or MW or like CS or whatever, because they are very just two teams, even advantage, no real RNG involved. Whereas Destiny, there's all sorts of different roles and stuff.
Yep.
That was why
Blink148 says, "Go ahead."
That was what I was gonna say. That was why I liked the idea. We didn't mention back in the Trials conversation. I know a lot of people have been talking about locking exotic armor to stop people from swapping to like Eternal Warrior, the striker helmet, and stuff like that. And I saw someone had a suggestion that, you know, when you change your stasis fragments, it resets all your grenade ability and super energy and stuff like that. If you were to change exotic armor, if it would do that, I think would be a pretty good solution, because swapping to Eternal Warrior is incredibly strong. Like for a bottom tree striker, if they put that helmet on, they can eat a sniper headshot. It will change that round. So.
Interesting, yeah. As long as it's only in PvP.
Yeah, but I don't think locked loadouts should be a thing. So maybe something like that would be a better substitution.
Blink148 says, Benny, is there anything else you'd like to see done to Trials outside of the upcoming changes?
I'm not sure if I want the upcoming changes, but I mean, I'm really happy about the lab stuff. I'll give freelance a chance, but I'm hesitant to see the playlist split. The matchmaking thing is definitely the big one for me. That could go either way. Could really hurt the playlist. Might help the more casual player base. But in general, I genuinely think they nailed it with the revamp, and the results speak for that. Everyone was playing, and I think it's in a good spot. I'd like to see, like quite soon though, they bring out an Adept Reed's Regret, given that everything this season is like fusion rifle based. I think it'd be dope to get that gun out. I think they should do that sooner rather than later while the Trials playlist is popping.
Cool.
Arlo says, when is DCP Trials going to happen?
Well, me and Mylan are always around to play.
That's 2/3. We just need another one.
Yeah. Well, 2/4. It's 1/2.
But there's three people on a
out of
team.
3
Sorry.
Yeah. But it's
Also-
it's 2/4 of.
of DCP. You know, quick
See,
math.
yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, a burrito is completely wrapped.
That's
and that's
advanced
why
math.
it's
Yeah.
2/3. You see?
They teach that in high school, which.
The burrito's completely wrapped and Briar's on a stick somewhere.
Yeah, so that's why it's 2/3.
Buff shelf
And
somewhere.
titties. Aura Clash says, question for everyone. Did you like Trials this past weekend? And what is something you would change? I think we kind of covered this one. I'm just going to
We talked about that a lot already. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. We got like 3 minutes left, so I'm just going to skip down to the dumb stuff.
We love dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, here's a good one. Hey, Blaze says, if the firing range crew were the Avengers, who would each cast member be? Your choices are Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, and Black Widow. They didn't include Hawkeye, unfortunately. And
Have you
So-
seen the new Thor design for Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Ooh, God of
who are
War.
you
all
going to
just go
put
for
there?
that.
No. We're talking about firing range here. So we gotta name
Oh,
firing
firing
range
range.
crew members. Yeah. So you got so who's Cammy? Cammy is who on the Avengers?
Probably Iron Man. I feel like he makes intelligent builds. Would
Big
probably be.
brain.
Big
Yeah,
brain.
big
Yeah.
brain builds. Yeah.
I like it.
Brain.
Okay. Fallout.
Black Widow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fallout's Black Widow.
Any
I like
reasoning
it.
behind that?
Nope.
Nope.
He likes
He
leather.
likes doing superhero poses when he
Yeah.
enters a room. It's all
Yep.
he does all the time. It's very weird.
Drewski.
I forgot the options. Captain America is one of them.
Yeah. Thor and Hulk are left. Captain America, Thor, and Hulk are left.
No one's really ragey, are they? Who would be Hulky? Who's always mad?
Who is super ragey
They're all-
in that group?
They're
Yeah.
all too calm. So you got to get rid of Hulk.
The guy's gotta get rid of him.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna switch out. I'm gonna go. Cammy should be Hulk because he got the. You go with the Bruce Banner scientist, right?
Okay.
That
Oh, when he
opens
gets right
Iron Man.
Logic.
Yeah, and I think Drewski actually makes a good Iron Man.
Yeah, I see it.
There you go.
Merc is definitely. Shit, man. Like I don't know. This doesn't work that good.
It doesn't work that good.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
really resonating. You need to broaden up the character
Yeah.
options.
Yeah.
You know?
Give
It's
us
got
the
America's
same
House.
question, but open it up a little more. Like, let me choose any character from any
MCU
Marvel
in
comic.
general.
Well,
Yeah,
Drewski
like-
can't
that'd
be
be
Captain
easier.
America because he doesn't have America's ass. He's Canadian.
Yeah, we need butt shots. Can we get butt
Bang.
shots?
Yes. Like maybe Merc could be Drax, you know? Merc is Drax.
Makes a good Drax.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's very literal.
Literal and like, yeah, dry on some
Yeah.
things, yeah. But still funny, yeah.
Valdramas says, you're stuck on an island with no escape. You get a mermaid companion, top half fish or bottom half fish. No eating your companion. Looking at you, Watts.
Whoa, why me?
Cause
Yeah, I
reasons.
can't imagine.
Do we
Top
have
half
to
fish
pick?
or bottom half fish?
Are we just talking
Yeah.
about what if this is this just a question of do we want to bone the fish? Is that what
Yeah,
this
is this a sexual question?
I think so. Yeah, I do believe so.
Sexuality.
Do you like oral or?
Because you're stuck on the island with the fish.
Well, it
What
depends
makes-
what the top half is. If it's a piranha, I mean, come on.
Yeah. What type of fish?
Many different fish.
God's sakes.
It's true.
That just
we
sounds
need
really
more
uncomfortable.
context of which fish specifically.
Yeah, how big is this island?
I mean,
too?
I'm gonna go bottom half fish.
Are we
honestly.
talking about like the UK island? You know?
I think
Like fish
I think you
from
have
the
to go
UK?
bottom
Is that
half
what you're saying?
fish.
Is there a rum
Keith
stash on
says-
the island?
You die and your remains are cremated and pressed into a vinyl record. What 3 songs are on that record? Like, you only get 3 songs on a whole record?
Your remains?
Want my money back if I bought that.
Yeah, that's like a single.
That sounds like a good idea. I think you could sell that. Is that a real thing?
I
Probably.
don't know, but what songs would you put on it?
Oh, that's such a difficult question. Though.
Probably-
It's a very difficult.
Probably start with Baby Shark.
Just so you're half
So
fish.
you're not
fan,
trying
you
to
can
sell this
appreciate.
record then?
No.
Oh, that would sell a lot.
No, it's only to like annoy whoever you've left behind, right? So you want
Yeah.
Baby Shark, Frog Song, and I don't know.
Barney. I love Barney.
Aqua.
You love,
I was thinking like the songs that like embody you the best, but if you're just trying, nobody's gonna play that record if you just put annoying songs on it.
It's true.
maybe that's your thing.
Maybe they can just forget about me then.
Don't you
That's the big-
forget about me.
What if you
Ooh,
want them
there's
to
a song.
suffer
Don't
every time you
forget
play
about
your
me.
record?
Put that one on there.
Maybe WAP.
Yeah. Wow.
Boost you. That might be one of the most difficult questions I've been asked in a very long time.
My question is, are you putting? It's a vinyl record, so theoretically, one song goes on the A side, one song goes on the B side. Where's the third song going?
Well, this is all theoretical. So it's just a one-sided 3-song vinyl
It's a
record.
3-sided vinyl record.
3-sided vinyl.
What?
It's a mystery side.
It's a 4D record? What?
Yeah.
That's how
Miley-
you fit the ash in there.
Miley Cyrus Party in the USA.
It's pretty good.
Good
It's
one.
pretty good.
Good one.
Pretty good.
Benny, are you a big music buff? Because you seem to be struggling
Yeah,
with this.
I could not narrow it down. I can't think of one, let alone 3, that I would
Really?
put on a vinyl. That's difficult.
I picked
That's
out
a
the
good
songs,
question.
or I picked out the questions, so I had time to think about it. So I picked Bomb Track by Rage Against the Machine, because that song's fucking awesome. Then I picked Take 5 by Dave Brubeck, because that song's also fucking awesome. And then I picked Fat Bottom Girls by Queen, because why not? That's fun.
Gotta live a little.
Queen song would be good.
I can think of 2, not 3.
Okay.
Go on.
What would they be?
Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana,
Okay.
Tears by Wu-Tang, and I cannot think of a third.
Oh. I
Baby
feel like you
Shark.
can go off the reservation for number 3. You got a solid
Baby
top
Shark.
2.
Baby Shark.
Baby
and
Shark.
Easy.
Baby Shark's the way.
Baby Shark
Too
is a
far
ringer.
off the reservation.
Baby Metal, Give Me Chocolate. All 3 songs.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
You just keep
Repeat?
playing.
It's a repeat?
Yep, repeat. Just over and over again.
Hugo Rune says, "What's your favorite memory of being halfway somewhere?" You're not there
Halfway
yet.
somewhere.
You're halfway there.
That's
To
deep.
me, this brought to mind a road trip. Like you're halfway done through a road trip. You're on the road.
I'm
What's a
normally just in a
favorite memory?
plane, and it's like, I guess when the good movie hits, when they bring out my dinner and I get to watch the good movie, that's the best part.
I'll tell you what, going to the US halfway there is still rough. You're like 10 hours in or something. You're like, oh my God. I've got another 10 hours.
I want to come
left.
to Australia so bad, but that plane ride, it's so daunting.
I would
It's
love
a
to go
ride.
to Australia.
That's spooky.
How long is a flight there?
Well, when I went to Florida,
Oh, geez. Yeah.
I'm on the West Coast as well. So I got to go Perth, Sydney. Where would I fly to? I think I
LA?
flew to LA and then LA.
To
Tampa.
Florida.
Florida.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that sounds awful.
Yeah, that
No,
sounds
it's-
like
Going
a-
from
It's
LA
like a
to
whole
Tampa
day.
sounds awful.
It's a
Yeah, I
whole
always
day.
Yeah,
do.
going from
it
Seattle
is.
to Florida kind of sucks.
Yeah,
I always do direct flights for conventions. I can't deal with the.
I don't think there's a direct flight that would do that. Right? They'd run out of fuel.
I do. I've done UK to LA for TwitchCon a couple times, but that's nothing
Yeah.
in the same leagues as Australia.
How many hours
Yeah.
is that?
UK to LA. I want to say like 11. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not great, but I don't really
Still
mind
long.
flying. I don't know.
Do you go
I've always
first
been fine
class?
with traveling.
You can go first class.
No,
No.
I'm
That way you
really
don't mind
tall,
it 'cause
so
you're
I have no leg
sleeping.
room.
Benny's like, do you know my KD? Let me on first class.
We upgrade.
I'll give you a
Carry the
carry of
stewardess
trials if you
to
let
the
me on
floor-
first
the White
class.
House.
Come here, I'll tell you a secret. You want trials, Gary? You want trials, Gary? Pump me up.
Free upgrade.
I mean, the road trip to me is half the fun of a trip, and I don't
Yeah.
think that's true for everybody. But I love to drive. I love to travel. I don't like the plane travel, but I love to drive, like car travel. I just find it to be enjoyable.
I love
One time I
traveling
was
with
taking a
people.
ski trip up to Vermont with one of my best friends, and we were in an old pickup truck. I was driving, and we happened upon this road that was like twisty turny, full of snow, and we were just having a ball sliding this pickup truck sideways, like on these mountain roads that were all snowy. We were just having a ball. That was probably my favorite halfway to somewhere. Good time.
Yeah, I
Old
used to go
pickup truck.
skiing every year, and I remember quite the opposite experience when you drive up the mountain. I remember finding that terrifying. It's just the hairpins back and forth going up, icy roads.
Yeah.
It's some beautiful Australian outback if you're driving, which is really nice.
Oh, I bet.
However,
You will die.
overtaking like road trains like big trucks that just go on forever, and you have to overtake them on like a single lane going both ways. It can be.
They don't
it's
have those here, but you have trailers that go like 5 or 6 trailers deep, right?
Yeah, so that it'll be like they call it a road train, and it'll be taking shit across Australia, and they are scary to overtake because you're going into oncoming traffic too. But there's no one around, but it's still a bit gnarly.
Yeah.
It's still scary.
Wow.
Brian would just do that the whole way.
Yeah, you'd hunt them.
Just
On the
to,
wrong side of the road.
just to feel alive.
Hunt the road trains.
On the road trip. That's Briar's Netflix TV show. If Briar was to get a Netflix TV
Road
show,
train
Briar
hunter.
hunts the road trains.
Yo, speaking of driving TV shows on Netflix, what the fuck? Get Hyperdrive back on Netflix. That was the best show you ever had on that service, and you didn't renew it for season 2. You fuckers. You fuckers. Ollie says, dear DCP crew and guests, which of the following is more cursed? Wearing skelly toe shoes with flip-flops or with Crocs?
Skelly toe shoes with Crocs?
Are those the
Well,
shoes?
You mean socks?
that
With the
have-
fingers.
How do you wear shoes with
fingers?
shoes? They mean socks.
No,
I
the
think they
toe,
mean
toe shoes. The toe shoes.
But how do you wear them with Crocs?
Would you wear them
Well,
with
maybe
a
they're
flip-flop
talking
or a
about
Croc?
making them with Crocs, making Crocs that have toes. I feel like the
Sounds
foam would be too thick to like spread out your.
Oh, you can put them on with Crocs. It'd be really hard though. It'd be hard to get your foot in there because it would stick.
You'd never be able to move your toes if it was Crocs.
They like cramp up because they're like going like this. My pinky is like, oh. I think we need some follow up here, Hallie. We don't really understand the question. How are you going to have skelly toe flip flops? They're open toed shoes.
I think I'm thinking of different shit. What are we talking about?
I think you're right. No, I think they're the shoes
Yeah.
that have like individual fingers.
Yeah,
Or-
yes, they're like
Yeah, the
like
individual
little,
toes.
yes,
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
little
that's
booties, and they're
separated
like a glove
in
for
them.
your foot.
Yeah,
So your toes
toe
are
gloves.
separated inside it.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
That sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah, it sounds super uncomfortable.
I've got a pair.
What?
Yeah,
Go
do you
put
like
them on
them?
now.
All the time.
Just-
Yeah. Model them right now.
If you want, I can go around and find them.
Too hot for Twitch, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to get banned.
no, it's true.
Pop
You
the
have, to,
feet.
you have to charge extra for the foot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dreadnought says, what's one invention that you're 100% sure was only invented to annoy you?
One invention.
Sword peeking.
Yeah.
But it's gone now, so I'm saved.
Yeah. Life's better. Boy, I don't know.
Holidays.
Holidays annoy
You
you?
know, like holidays?
Force me to be around people. It's annoying. I'd rather not.
Relatives. Them damn
All
loved
those people,
ones.
you can't even eat any of them.
Oh, it's torture.
Rough life.
No.
I can't really think of
Jordan.
anything.
The Mario Kart item system.
You know what? Absolutely. The freaking blue shell. Screw that
The
thing.
blue
That's
shell?
actually true. That is actually
Blue
true.
shells.
Yeah, and you know what? Mario Party. That whole damn game.
Mario Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scoring. The
Screw that
the
game.
random score at the end. Yeah.
The random BS that happens on the game.
Mm-hmm. Maybe exclusives. That's a good one. Platform exclusives.
Yeah.
Florida. Is Florida an option? That's definitely there. Just me.
Florida invented.
What about Florida annoys you?
I guess it's more entertaining than anything. As long as I'm not there.
From afar, it's pretty.
Yeah, if I'm there, maybe not so much.
There's a season 3 of Cocaine Cowboys. Oh man, you gotta watch it. So good. Top tier Florida content.
Wow. Is this on Netflix?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't think of any invention that is just to annoy me. Maybe snooze buttons. I'm not a big fan of snooze buttons.
Because you want to wake up.
I feel like it's better than not having one though.
Yeah. What's the alternative?
have
Missing
to
your
do
I
that.
don't
alarm?
like
your
that they're
alarm every
9
time.
minutes. I think that's what really actually the fact that they're 9 minutes and not 10 minutes. All of a sudden you're trying to do like math on the third time you're hitting it. Like, okay,
You
the
do
first one was
math
9
when you're hitting
minutes.
the
The second
snooze
one
button?
was 18. Now the third one is 27. What time is it going to be if I hit it the fourth time?
36.
You seen those alarms that are like
Why has it got to be 9 minutes? Yeah, it's
Why are you
that's easy to
doing-
do now
Why are you doing math when you're hitting the snooze button? I'm not
because I'm
thinking.
trying to
hitting
figure
the
out when
snooze
it's going to
button.
go off.
Just
you
turn
seen
your
those
But then you
alarm.
just
that are
get
like
up.
watches.
Yeah.
And they like shock you if you don't wake up.
Oh,
What?
I saw an advert that there's these like new alarms and they're doing like a huge social media drive for them and they like shock you on your wrist to wake you up and like you can change the intensity of it. And there's like you can like stand up or there's stuff like it
Hard
makes you
fast.
get up and do like jumping jacks to turn it off. Like you just cannot turn it off without like actually being awake or you have to like
Wow.
go into a different room and scan a QR
Or you
code.
just take it off, I suppose.
I mean, yeah.
there are
Doesn't
some
make no
people
sense.
that sleep through every alarm, so they.
Oh, I got a
probably...
kid like that. You got to
Okay.
literally shake this kid to wake him up.
Maybe you should get him the
Like,
watch.
an alarm
and then-
won't do
Yeah.
it. You can't like
Get-
put your head into his room and say,
Just
"Wake up,
electrocute
wake
him,
up."
Briar. Just buy one of the
Get him the watch.
electrocuting things.
And get him the
Give him a
watch and then
watch,
set it to ride the lightning. All right.
Ooh, that's a good one. Last question of the night. Blaney McBlanderson says, "What is the longest you've ever waited for a table at a restaurant, and was it worth the wait?" It's never worth the wait because you're not no high-end restaurant. Do you have to wait for because you made a reservation, right? So the only tables you got to wait for are kind of like shitty, like Applebee's or like Outback Steakhouse, like that. That level of restaurant is the kind of place that you have to like go to and then wait. And no, of course it's not worth the wait.
I don't think I've ever
Sometimes
not waited though. I feel like I would. I don't think I've ever left whilst waiting for service. I think I've always.
What's
just
the
waited.
longest you've waited?
There's some
Oh.
places though. Like, do you have any of those like hipster restaurants which are like actually high class and you cannot book, so you have to go?
No,
like,
yeah.
fuck
part of-
those guys. Accept reservations. Fuck you. Accept
Those are
reservations.
usually the gluten-free ones.
Okay, we've hit a nerve.
No, I don't like to wait. Like I'm really impatient, so I don't like to like
Yeah,
go
but-
someplace and wait. Like I'd rather
It's-
like make a reservation for 9 p.m., walk in at 9 p.m. and sit down at my table.
What's the longest you would wait before walking if you were getting really bad service?
20 minutes.
You'd walk after 20 minutes.
20 minutes? That's pretty
Yes.
short. I feel like
I
if
I
Yeah.
feel like
spent
I must
a
have waited
long
longer than that.
time waiting in. It was when we first reached Japan and we wanted to have Ichiran ramen, and it was late and it was a massive line. But we were like, but we just got here and we want to eat Ichiran ramen, so we waited for a very long time. I don't even remember how long it was. I was too busy trying to not think about it. It was a long wait.
How long
I've
did we
also
wait for
waited
Dick
for
that
stuff.
night?
When you're traveling, you wait for tables, especially with the
Yeah.
COVID,
Yeah,
like
you do.
limited restrictions. Like you're just hungry. Everyone in your group's hungry. Like, dude, let's pick a place.
Just pick a
And
place
we'll-
and just wait it out. Don't
we'll
move.
wait it
I'm not
out.
moving.
Stop moving.
If they have a bar that I can wait at, I'm much more willing to wait. I'll wait for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll wait forever at a bar. But if you're just got me like in a lobby, like standing up and waiting, like very short. I will not wait. There's too many restaurants I could go to and spend my money. Give me reservations. Why won't you take reservations? You son of a bitch.
Wait, you're telling
just
me
take the reservation.
You telling me you wouldn't wait like 35 minutes or something like that at a restaurant?
For what? What restaurant?
This is getting
Let's say you like it.
Be
It's
careful with your answer.
It's let's say a restaurant you like that you're excited to eat at. Okay, I don't know what that might be. Let's say you want to eat. Let's say you want to eat. Let's say you want to eat a burrito that's fully covered because that's what a burrito normally is at a restaurant like that. How long would you wait?
I feel like there's like 4 burrito restaurants within 20 minutes of travel time of my house.
Okay, bad example.
So I could go to any
Let's say you want to go to a lobster place. It's the best lobster
Yeah.
place in wherever you're at.
Yeah.
And would you wait 35 minutes standing up?
I would expect a lobster place to have reservations.
Let's say they've completely got rid of reservations because of COVID and it's only walk-in right
Then
now.
I'm going to call the next place that does.
They're closed. This is the only
I'm gonna
place.
go get some lobsters. I really don't like waiting. Like I really find it. I find it to be like massively annoying. Like, I really hate it.
Wow.
Just get a burrito on a stick.
Especially when you're
Burritos
standing
on
in
a
the
stick.
lobby. Like you're standing in the lobby, and then the people who are like leaving the restaurant are like bumping into you while you're standing there. Sucks.
The good thing though about having a place that doesn't have reservations is you can be spontaneous. And if there's no queue, you don't need a reservation, right? You can just walk on in.
The jackpot.
Yeah, that's great as long as you don't have to wait an hour. But if the place took a reservation, you probably could have called an hour ahead of time and then done something else for an hour, come there and just sat right down instead of just standing there for an hour.
What is the restaurant that wronged you? Do you want to call them out?
All of them. All of them.
All
restaurants.
It was the Outback
Fridays,
Steakhouse,
Chili's,
wasn't it?
Applebee's, TGA, whatever.
Well, you're just going to bad
Outback,
restaurants.
all of those like
why are you going to those
mid-range,
places?
sucky ass restaurants that don't take reservations, but people like to go to, and then you get there, and you just got to stand there and wait. I fucking hate all those restaurants. And they're all microwave food
Are
anyway.
they even restaurants?
Yeah, why are you going to
I
those
believe
places?
that they're all microwave food. You don't always
got a
have a choice which restaurant you're going to. Sometimes somebody else makes the choice.
Here we go.
We've got like an
Same.
American style place here. I can't remember what it is.
Mhm.
And it does a lot of like slow cooked barbecue and
Oh
you can't-
yeah, now we're
and
talking.
you can't really get anywhere else and you can't book either. And it's a place that I'll probably wait 30 minutes. And it does have a bar and it's and you just always get like
if you got a
share
bar, no problem.
yeah, and you just get like share platters, of like pulled pork and barbecue pork and like all that kind of good stuff. It's delicious.
If you got a bar, it's no problem. I'll have a couple drinks at a bar and I'll wait patiently for nearly ever.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there having a good time at the bar.
Okay.
But if you don't have a bar, fuck you.
Briar's taking it personal if you don't have a bar. You're making them
Also
wait.
counts for weddings, by the way. If you don't have a bar at your wedding, fuck you.
I'm taking my card back.
Yeah. I'm taking this gift right back to Target where I came from.
Getting it back out of the gift well. Give me that card back.
That's it. We have answered all Destiny questions for the week once again. And you're welcome.
Nailed it. Glad we solved that restaurant conundrum that Briar's been having.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Feel
Easy.
better about that.
Very easy.
Well, thank you everyone that hung out and listened through the food talk tonight. We really appreciate it. Shout out to our Patreon members and our Twitch subs. You guys are awesome. And shout out to everyone listening wherever you're at in the world. Benny, where can people find you doing your thing? Where can they jump in chat and potentially see if they could get some help with trials?
So my main thing is Twitch at twitch.tv/Benny, just BENNY. And then I also do YouTube at youtube.com/IamBennyZ.
What's your upload schedule for videos?
When a video is ready, it goes out.
When it happens?
When it happens, it happens.
Awesome. And then streaming, obviously, when Trials is live and all that.
Yeah, so throughout the weekend, you'll catch me on. Normally quite early for like Americans, I start like 11 a.m. my time, which is like, I don't know what, 6 hours from now, 7 hours from now. So I think that's like 4 a.m. Pacific, something like that. So definitely the
early.
night shift.
Yeah.
But
Or
yeah, I'm
late.
in the UK, so I stream throughout the day. So normally, as people are waking up, I'll be on doing my thing.
Well, very cool. We appreciate you coming on the show and sharing some thoughts on Trials and
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
yeah, and thanks
Awesome.
for schooling Mylin on the lore. He's really been slacking lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do
Yeah.
appreciate all the help. Yeah. Yeah.
I got you.
That was
I can tell you've
really
been
informative.
lurking in my streams. All the lore talk I do. Must have picked it up somewhere.
Mylin, where can people find you?
Mylin Games on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube.
Awesome. What?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts. And if you do visit Mylan stream, make sure you do !Pete.
Pete.
!Pete. Got it.
Yep.
Pete.
Pete. Just do it sometime.
Got it.
Don't
Got
question it. Just do it.
We'll do.
Why you like this?
I'm doing this offline chat. I'm curious.
Hey, you enjoy it. You enjoy it, Benny.
Briar.
You can find me patiently waiting for a bloomin' onion and a Foster's at an Outback Steakhouse near
Outback Steakhouse. Nice.
You need to come to Australia, mate. You really do. You belong here. Come home, Dad.
And I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. And I will be posting some YouTube content soon. And thanks for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
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 Peace.